It's a podcast. Welcome.
Welcome to the podcast.
That guy specifically called out Joel.
Yeah.
So if anybody's first time listening to the podcast, I feel like I have to repeat this every now and then. If we play a different theme song every week, if you'd like to submit one, send us an audio file to podcast@roosterteeth.com.
We should introduce ourselves.
None of us are Joel.
We are. Or, I think Gavin and I are combined are Joel.
I am Gus Sorolla.
I'm Bernie Burns.
I am Jack Patillo.
I am Gavin.
Although, according to the awesome iTunes promotion that we got this
that
week,
we love.
I am Bernie Verns.
Bernie Verns Troyer.
There's a weird thing that happens, which is the more effort. We don't put in effort to anything around here.
No, fuck it.
But the more effort you put into something, the more likely that thing will fuck you over.
Oh, yeah.
The best example of that was when we had a guy from the Wall Street Journal come down to cover us.
God damn.
For making Red versus Blue.
I
And
love
my
this
good
story.
friend Gus here drove that guy around, picked him up from the airport,
I
drove him
carried
to the...
his fucking bag. That guy packs like a woman. Okay, that guy had a giant-ass bag I had to haul around the airport, put in my fucking trunk.
And he drives him to and from the office. He was there for 2 days with us.
And our office was in Buda at the time. I drove him from one city to another city.
Jesus.
Then drives him, to eat, everything else. Then drives him back to the airport. Probably carried his bag in to the terminal for him. We ended up on the front page of the Wall Street Journal. He mentioned everybody in the company. He didn't mention Gus.
I thought Gus was the runner.
It's like I didn't exist.
You were the
Like
PA.
that's not even a mention, like an allusion to me or someone that could be like, okay, that was me.
Not even
Yeah.
like some Mexican dude picked me up.
It's like I was invisible.
It just wrote you out of history.
You know, one time I think we mentioned that in a video or something way in the past, and no, I'm not even gonna say it because I don't want it to happen again. Nope.
Oh, man.
But that happened to me this week because we were voted by iTunes listeners as the best gaming podcast.
Thank you, iTunes
On a-
listeners.
Thank you,
Yay.
iTunes listeners.
If we had a soundboard, we'd play the clapping hands right now. They hear in the strip club all the time.
Well, you hear that? You hear
It's you
clapping.
strip club?
Yeah,
What?
give it up for whoever.
Make some noise for
yeah,
Shay.
make some noise. Yeah, there you go. And then
She's working hard for you, boys.
Jack has the perfect
Dude,
strip club DJ voice.
I would love to be a strip club DJ for like a day. Like, just give me one shift as a strip club DJ. I would love to do that. It'd be so much fun.
Can you just ad lib for the rest of the podcast random strip club DJ stuff? Like, Candy to the main stage.
we got a $2 Jägermeister special going on right now, boys.
I've never been to a strip club.
Remember, Saturday night is fight night here at the club.
oh,
Now here's
the
Jethro
strippers would
Tull.
fight.
Make some noise for Ferrari.
What is the quintessential stripper song?
Pour some sugar on me.
Exact same thing.
It is.
Yeah.
It's
That-
timeless.
well, it depends. Like, if they have like costumes, like Hot for Teacher is always a good one. You always get like the girls
So,
in the plaid skirts.
80s rock is what we're getting
Yeah,
at.
80s rock. The hair metal.
Is
hair
it not
metal's the way to
embarrassing
go.
going to a strip club? Like if you just say I went to a strip club last night, is that not embarrassing?
You fucking dolt.
No.
I am looking at your goddamn headphones again. Every week you put them on backwards.
God, you're a dumbass.
They're comfortable this way around.
No, it is not embarrassing to go to a strip club.
No.
Like people are like, oh, I have a moral problem against strip clubs. I was like, no, shut up. You don't have a moral problem. You just are pussy.
I just don't know. I don't know.
Would you be embarrassed?
Yeah.
No,
Why?
I have a different moral problem with it,
What's
Jack.
that?
Bonus?
The problem that I have with it... No, thanks, Phil, for bringing that up. I have a problem, though, with being in a pseudo-sexual situation, like 3 feet away from my friends.
Yeah,
that
really?
I don't like.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah,
I-
like you'd never watch porn with a bunch of your friends, would you? Or would you?
You absolutely would not.
Although Brandon was saying maybe it wasn't him that did it. He told me the story. I'm not sure whether it was him or some of his friends, but he said like they'd get around a projector and like project porn on the wall and all watch it together.
What? Is he like from the 1950s?
Jesus.
Or maybe
like,
he was talking about
Check
what
out,
dudes used
check
to
out
do.
this stag film I found.
Well, like, I mean,
Put on the reel to reel.
but you gotta be careful at a strip club. Like when you have people like nothing's creepier than when you're getting a dance and your friends are watching you get a dance.
Yeah.
Like that's spooky.
I would want them like
you don't
watching
wanna-
my
you don't want to
face.
be that guy.
Like I don't want to see my friend like
no, that's
bite his mouth or
I mean,
anything
like,
like that.
you know, I mean that's like an intimate moment. But, I mean,
Looking at
he's there like going,
looking at you, licking his lips.
yeah. Just be like,
Imagining
All right,
that girl was a
all
sandwich
right.
between you and him. I'll get in on a Gavin Gus sandwich.
Yeah.
What's up?
there's nothing more disconcerting though than like happen to glance over her shoulder and be like, oh god, there's like 3 dudes watching me right now. Like that's the spooky part.
Well, that's
Yeah.
why I've never been to one.
Why not? Wait, that's the reason why you've never.
Yeah,
You don't
I
have
don't
to.
want to be surrounded by dudes.
You don't have to get dancers from the girls. You don't have to do any of that. You can
So
just
why
drink
bother going?
drink a beer and watch the stage.
It's like going to a bar where there's naked chicks.
Yeah, it's a lot better than normal bars.
I'm all for that. I want a bar that just is that. But
That's a strip club.
They don't like sit on your lap and stuff.
Then you ask them not to.
Yeah.
Like,
But I don't want to see someone sitting on someone else's lap.
Then don't look.
Look in the mirror. I don't know.
Look at the stage the whole time, or watch the TV
What
or
you should do is
something.
get blinders where you wear like these little shelves under your eyes, so you can only see above a
nothing
certain
below waist
level.
level.
No, but then all the girls would come up to me like, "Hey, what are you doing? Why that's like an icebreaker," and then he would be screwed.
That's an icebreaker.
Yeah, he's peacocking with his shelf glasses.
I'm with you though, Gav. I tend not to go to strip clubs like when people go, and I'm just like, It's like I don't want to pay money to not have sex. Basically, the way
There's
it
one
boils down.
scenario.
I think. Wait. I think you once said that when you're hungry, you don't go to a restaurant and pay money to look at food.
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much.
I would go maybe. The only situation I see myself going is like with a girl that I'm with, just for a laugh.
Just for a laugh.
Yeah,
for a laugh.
Sure.
Sounds hilarious.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like anything else. I mean, if you do it spontaneously, I'm sure it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
If you plan Thursday, we're going to a strip
Yeah.
club,
Yeah.
probably not going to be as much fun. Also, I freely admit this. I don't like being in an environment where the shift of power happens. I'm as a white male, I want the white male dominance to last for like another 30 years. That's it. I just want to hold on as long as I can and get a full life out of it.
It's over, man. Your reign is over. We are fucking taking over.
So welcome, new iTunes listeners. How you guys doing out there?
No, have you ever
Make
been
some
to
noise for Gus Sorolla.
Have you ever been to a strip club and not looked at the stage, but looked at the audience and looked at all the blank faces?
That's some of
looking
the
up?
most fun,
Yeah.
man.
That's creepy and horrible.
Yeah. Watching the guys who absolutely know, like, this is the woman I'm going to marry, and then seeing the girl walk off and, like, roll her eyes and just go backstage. Like,
Yeah.
yeah okay.
And
nice.
sometimes when you, depending on the quality of establishment, it's like watching people of Walmart, just like sitting there ogling
I just
upwards.
wouldn't want a dance from someone who clearly doesn't want to dance on my lap. It's like when.
Oh, Gavin, you're gorgeous.
when it's like when you go to a store. I used to have this whenever I went shopping, where you go to the checkout and they'd be like, "How are you today?" And I just want to say, "You don't care how I am. You don't know who I am. Don't ask me that. I'm not going to get." So I just be like,
That's such a dick thing, man.
No, it's a
I-
British thing.
Is it?
I don't.
Oh, so British
they
are just
don't
dicks?
care. When I went to the supermarket, we were told to ask about people's days. I refused to do it because I don't care about their day, and they know I don't care about their day.
Plus, also, it's just some bullshit answer. No one actually answers honestly.
Yeah.
How's your day?
And if they
It's okay.
do, you're like, "Oh."
It's just
They're like, I
should do
was
it.
having a pretty good day, but my cat is sick. Gotta go to the vet now. It's like, oh, shut up. Buy your stuff and leave.
God, you were such an asshole.
no, he's right
No,
though.
no.
No, I worked at a grocery store doing the exact same thing. And it
I
was
don't want
like
an
they never
interaction.
required us
I-
to say that, but it's like still like whatever.
I don't want a
You can be
pointless
nice.
interaction.
but-
I'm not being nice. I'm being false.
You don't care. You're not being nice.
I really don't
I
care.
was being nice. When
It's
I would
like-
ask, like, how's your day? Oh, you having a good day? Awesome. That's great. I'm
It's the
happy
same
for
with
you.
not.
If they're not, I'm sorry.
I've had
I hope
shitty
your day
days.
goes better.
I've had shitty days.
Okay.
And they ask me, "How's your day?" It's okay. It's
Yeah.
going good. I never say anything other than "It's good."
Okay.
You know what you should do? You
Well, that's
should
your problem.
Come up with this will be a social experiment. Come up with a standard answer now. Say, "How was your day?" Just say, "My grandmother just died." And just stare them right in the face and see what you get back from them.
But like when you walk into the office, Gus, you're my friend, so I'll say hi. I'll be like, "Hey, how's it going?" And you'll be like, "Oh, it's good."
If we're lucky.
And I don't care how it's going for you. You know I don't. You'll say it's good, and we'll just go in separate
Yeah.
directions.
A nod or
That's
grunt
exactly
is
the
fine.
same
Yeah.
thing you were just describing.
But we know each other.
So who but if you don't give a shit, then what does it matter if you know them?
So you're saying the like
It's a waste of time otherwise.
the
But
social
what else are you gonna do? You're
charade.
gonna stare at each other, not say anything?
Yeah, just fucking do your job, and I'll sit here and give you money.
I'm all for
It's like a strip club.
I want to minimize all
Well, I
interactions.
want to get money and talk to someone at a strip club.
I'll wear that shirt to a strip club. Just do your job and let me give you money.
You know, if you ever want to see Gavin at his most uncomfortable, strike up a conversation with somebody in an elevator. He can't stand that.
Not only that, but strike up a conversation about the slow-mo guys in an elevator.
Oh,
He'd probably freak the fuck out. Gavin can't stand it when you talk about slow-mo guys.
Is that true? So Gavin makes a show, in addition to working for us, if you don't know this, Gavin makes a show, a very popular show on YouTube called The Slow-Mo Guys.
Side project. The most fun for me is
See, he cut you off from your explanation.
See?
Yeah.
See?
the most
He
fun
doesn't
for
wanna
me
talk
is
about it.
watching people discover that they've been subscribed to the Slow Mo Guys for a year, and they've been subscribed to Rooster Teeth for like 4 years, and then suddenly realizing I'm the same person. It's interesting. Like
It happens a lot.
it happens a lot.
Yeah.
On both my videos, like on Rooster Teeth videos and Slow Mo Guys videos. It's like I feel like an idiot.
That they just figured it out.
And they've been subscribed to both. It's crazy.
Well, you don't appear very often on screen for Rooster Teeth.
That's right.
And you're on screen all the time, every week in Slow-Mo Guys.
We just
So-
had that behind the scenes Rage Quit Slender Man that came out last week. Or the
That's
week
where I
before.
get it. Is like behind the scenes stuff, or if
Or
I
like Awu or
if I
something.
slap Jack in the face on Awu.
Dude, so I've been gone for like 2 weeks, and I came back to the office today.
Great.
It was fantastic.
Thank you. And I walk into the office, I set up my computer and stuff, and I realize, oh, Gavin switched out my chair again. Because Gavin loves doing it. Because the chair Gavin has kind of sucks. It was my old chair, and I got one of those new bunch of
just
chairs.
like sweat and food all stuck in it.
Gross.
Yeah. So anyway, so he took my chair.
Immediately, like as soon as you left, I always
Yeah.
take your chair.
And
So that
so
was a week ago.
Yeah, so I walked over to his desk, and I just dumped him out of it.
So in the middle of recording
Nice.
Let's Play,
Yeah.
I'm sat at my desk. All of a sudden, he like puts his foot right under and then just whips the chair out. I almost hit my chin on the desk, and I ended up like twisting my knee on the ground. I was like,
But he immediately runs out of the room and slams the door,
I had
cursing.
to do it. I had to do a little swear outside. Thanks for that.
Without saying too much
Prick.
about it, we had to sign a new business agreement just recently for a new thing we're working on, and part of it was we just had to like the rules of employees and things like that, and said that we won't engage in harassment of our employees. And I said, yeah, we actually can't.
We got to take that clause
sign
out.
this. And they said, they said we kind of harass our employees on a regular basis around here.
We have an employee handbook, and it's very carefully worded
Yeah.
around what constitutes like harassment
Yeah.
and what constitutes a normal day-to-day
Yeah.
activity for
It's
the
like
job.
it's like you will experience adult material or something like that. Like there's a bunch of weird
Yeah.
shit in there.
I actually cut and pasted it just today.
Nice.
We can. There's nothing against drinking at work, but you just can't be drunk at work. Or so there was like
Why
weird.
can't you be drunk at work?
I don't
We got
remember.
drunk on the podcast.
No,
Shut
can't
no,
shut
no,
up.
no, we did not.
That's a drunk is subjective too.
So wait,
Who's
Like-
in charge? Who are we like hiding from there?
Yvonne.
me? Yeah,
The person who works it.
the government. The you want to read? I'm sure it's okay if I read the clause from the actual handbook.
Sure.
There's a whole section on unlawful harassment, like the company.
Lawful or unlawful?
Unlawful.
Okay.
The company will take all reasonable steps to prevent unlawful harassment from occurring. Blah 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 blah. All that stuff. Then there's our section in there, which is the above notwithstanding. Employees understand that the company is an entertainment production entity specializing in creating comedic content for an adult audience on the internet. As such, an employee may be exposed to discussions and scenarios normally not encountered in a professional work environment.
Such as
No
talking
shit.
about strip clubs and shutting up and doing your job.
God, we went right out of the gate into that stupid ass conversation.
How did we get into that?
Because Jack, he's pervert.
No,
Yeah,
no,
no,
it wasn't
true.
me. Someone else brought it up.
No,
I think
you're-
it's
it's
like
my
the
voice.
clapping. Yeah.
That's what I was. You said the clapping, like with an audio drop clapping, or whatever. That is always awkward when the DJ is like, "All right, make some noise for," and it's like one guy, yeah, like in the back you can hear him.
It's a good introduction to the Rooster Teeth podcast, though, for people listening for the first time. It's like we are in the games and hobbies section. How often do we talk about games and hobbies?
Let's talk about PAX.
Let's
Does
talk about
anyone
that.
have a hobby? What's your
Video games.
Can I make a public apology on the podcast? Something that happened to me at PAX.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so we went to this thing. A good friend of ours, David Bass, who he used to work for BioWare. He now works for WildStar, which is
Carbine Studios.
Carbine Studios, and this WildStar is this new MMO they got. And so he invited us out to this thing. He invited myself and Gus and another friend, and
It was like a community get-together
Yeah, it
for
was a community event.
WildStar.
and so we go to this event, and I thought it was just gonna be like a drink up, like just a meet and drink thing. Turns out like they're actually showing off the game. They're gonna give a presentation, and we got inside there, and it's like the smaller room inside of this place in Seattle, and like all of a sudden I get like this hot flash where I start sweating and just I'm getting like woozy.
Well, the room was hot.
The room was hot, but I was like sweating. I don't know what the hell happened to me. So I like left the room, went used the restroom. I came back, and they had dimmed the room because they had a projector going, showing off the game. And I sit down in the front row because there was like one open chair, it was like right in the front.
It
And so
was like the guy who shows up late for college.
Yeah. So I sit down. I'm like, okay, I don't want to stand anymore because like I'm feeling a bit weird. And all of a sudden, like everything hit me. I just got exhausted and I started falling asleep, like 5 feet away from like the creative lead on this game, and I just couldn't stop myself. And I felt so fucking.
He was
bad.
doing that head nod thing where
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah,
you jerk your head up.
Your chin hits your chest. The game looks incredible. I will say, I'll be 100% honest. The game looks really, really awesome. I'm very excited to check it out when it actually does come out. But I felt so fucking bad. And then like David never texted me after that event and stuff, and I was just like,
Yeah, David came over to me because I was sitting in the
Yeah.
back, and he's like, "Hey, what's up with Jack? He's falling asleep."
Did you really?
Yeah,
Did
and
you
I
notice
was-
it?
Yeah, of
So-
course they could not notice. He was the first person.
I was like closer to Gus and I than anyone. I mean, like it was this, like not even this far away. I was like right in front of the guy, and I felt. I mean, but this was like I think was it Sunday of PAX?
Yeah, it was Sunday.
So like
Sunday afternoon.
So it was like I'd been going like for
Such an
2 weeks.
asshole.
And I was just like, it's everything
So
hit
get
me.
up and leave.
I know I should, but then I felt weird for leaving. And then it was like,
He was in the front again. It's
Yeah.
like,
If
you stand up, it's obvious.
If you leave, it shows that maybe you had an issue. If
Yeah.
you sit there and fall asleep, It shows that you're bored.
But it was just like this perfect combination of like darkness and hot and just exhaustion. And so I feel so bad. So if anyone from Carbine Studios or WildStar's listening, I'm so
what
sorry.
happened to you?
I don't know.
I
I felt terrible all of a sudden. It's like it hit me. Like that happens though, like at conventions, where you just everything kind of absorbs into you.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm a man with a penis, so that doesn't happen to me.
Shut the hell up.
Kevin, you know how it is though. You're just going through your day and you randomly pass out. You know that happens all the time.
I'm on your side, Jack. They don't work like we do at events.
So
Shut your fucking mouth! I don't work at events.
Wow.
Anyway,
There were some cool things about that game.
no, the game looks awesome, and like they showed a bunch of stuff that we can't talk about, like NDA stuff, but it looks really, really cool, and I am genuinely excited about the game. But
Yeah, what is the stuff you can't talk about? Like, there's a certain kind of shooter, and then all of a sudden, a unicorn and snake show up. Is that what happens?
I think yeah.
No, I have no time for fainters. I don't do it. Like,
Have you ever
you remember
fainted?
that girl who fainted on top of the merchandise?
Yeah. That was it.
Can we talk about that?
That was
Don't
it.
talk about her.
yeah, be
Well,
quiet about that.
that sounds weird if you don't talk about it. There was a girl who passed out at our Comic-Con booth, and she was very dramatic
I think
about the way that she
I'm
passed
okay
out.
with people passing out. I don't like how it makes everyone around them react. Like, there were probably 5 people in the booth. Everyone goes crazy. Like, someone's running off to get a medic. Everyone's like, pick her up, lift her up. And I was just like, so who wants to buy some stuff? I think I sold like $200 worth of merchandise over her while she was laying across the table. It was awesome.
Did they ever determine what was wrong with her?
She had
An episode?
Lack of attention.
I'm not
I don't know.
But anyway, no, so anyway, I apologize. But PAX was awesome. Had a lot of fun out there. Shit, Fan Expo was awesome too. We didn't get to talk about that because you guys recorded the podcast before we got back from Toronto last week.
Right.
That was really cool too. We have a shitload of fans in Canada. I don't know if you guys know that.
There's
But-
fans everywhere.
But Toronto is really, really cool, man. That's a cool city. You ever been up there?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we have.
I went
We
like
got
2
a
weeks
lot in
ago.
Oh, you went to
Australia.
RBTO, didn't you?
Yeah, you should go to Australia sometime, Jack.
Fuck you.
So listen, I stumped for you to go to this Australia trip, and
Yeah.
what happened?
Okay, so I talked about this on the panel. So the way it works out, this Australia trip, I would have to leave, I think, on like the 8th or the 9th of November. And a very, very important game comes out November 6th, which is Halo 4. And
Oh, man.
Yeah, I've got to hang around and make some videos in Halo 4.
Sure you do.
so-
You got to hang around. Think of all the good sleep you'll get playing that game. That'll be awesome. That'll be great for the company you doing
Just
that.
feel a bit woozy. at the
Just
chest.
sit up in the front row.
So anyway, but hey, maybe I'll go to PAX Australia next year.
Speaking of Halo
We'll
4, Dave put Griffball in it, didn't they?
Oh yeah,
They did.
you can
sent it
throw the
back.
ball now.
Dude,
Yep.
did you see the video, the Griffball video they showed off?
Yes.
The ball looks fucking awesome
like
now. It's like this glowing
It's
orb
kind of like
death.
it's like a hollowed out monitor, but with like
Yeah.
blue electricity plasma in it or something.
Yeah.
Looks cool.
And you can toss it.
I think
I
also
wonder-
if you kill the ball carrier now with the sword, you instantly get
yeah,
the ball.
it's like a snatch, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
like because apparently when you hit with a hammer, the ball just goes sailing through the
Yeah,
air.
like the ball has
It's going to
physics
be
now.
interesting because you could never pass the ball before. You could
Yeah.
sort of you kind of jump and throw it, and it
Yeah.
would just kind of go thunk.
I know
like 2
some
feet over.
people, of course, on the forum, some people are up in arms like, oh, it's not pure griff ball, this and that, but
I know it's going to be
I'm
interesting,
Really
and it's also
looking forward to it.
it looks much
Well,
faster paced. Like it resets immediately.
It's,
Yeah.
it's faster paced, but it also forces you to play a little more defensively. Like before, all of your defense could go up against the ball carrier
Yeah.
and kind of pin him, but now you have to worry about the guy who
Yeah.
gets behind you and goes because they can throw it to him.
Chuck the ball
And
right
also,
over
it'll
your
cancel out the fact that it resets the round every time you score. Because you
Yeah.
always get that flood of right at the beginning where 4 people are going to hammer 4 people, and it's just
Yeah.
like, I'm going to die here, obviously. Boom, dead. But that won't happen anymore now that it
You
just
don't
carries on
have to
this thing.
charge in.
Yeah.
If you don't want to be a
And it's
bitch
also,
about it.
with all like the different Forge stuff, you can do all the trait zones and all that stuff. I'm sure you could do like original Griff Ball if you wanted to, reset everything.
What I'm most and then I'm sure Caleb will love it. I'm sure you could set up an ultimate frisbee mode where once you have the ball, you can't take a step.
Oh,
You
that'd
can-
be cool.
You can only pass.
That'd be cool. Like if you could only pass and jump, like
Right.
that'd be pretty neat actually.
Right.
Netball
Neville.
version of grip ball is what it is. But they changed the grip ball entirely.
So how proud are you of you that some dumb joke you made in Red versus Blue, you then turned into a game that is now built into the core of Halo 4?
I
Feel
would
good?
be a little more proud if we didn't start mass producing plushy grip balls a month before they changed the design.
No, then
now they're just Andy.
No. Now they're classic griff ball.
Yeah.
yeah, they're old school.
Now,
grip
I
balls.
remember when Halo 3 was coming out. We had a get together at your house party. It may have been like July 4th, one of the first times I hung out with you. And you had checked out Halo 3 before it was released. And one thing you were very, very happy with is the fact they put zombies in Halo 3 because that was a game mode.
Infection.
Infection was an
yeah.
honor game, wasn't it? back
Yeah,
then,
it was an
Halo
honor game
2?
at first, and they
It
actually
switched
built
teams.
it into the game, and it was like, oh shit, they actually did that, which is exactly what's happening with Griffball now. I
Yeah,
mean,
well,
that was
grip ball was in Reach too.
Yeah, but it wasn't in the venue.
It wasn't like a...
No, it was like a hopper game.
yeah. So I mean, this is a part of the game now.
They've like built custom
No, it wasn't dedicated. It was still based on the
But
Assault.
the
game
Halo
type.
4 version of Infection is cool too.
Yeah.
Did they show that off?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It's amazing though.
It's pretty fucking bad. It's pretty badass. Yeah.
But it's kind of cool though. I mean, like we are very close to getting Red versus Blue canon into Halo now.
Well, I think the achievements for Halo 4 came out, and one of the achievements is find all the Red versus Blue Easter eggs
I
in
think
Spark
find
Cards.
one
Oh,
Red versus Blue
find-
Easter egg.
Isn't it
Yeah.
called I Love Red versus Blue?
No, there's an achievement called I Red. Oh yeah, that's the achievement for I Love Red versus Blue is find the Red versus Blue Easter egg, and there's another one called like Violets versus Tulips or something like that, or Violets
Violets versus Roses.
yeah, and that's I don't know. That's another one. That's shit. I forget what they were. But.
Salmon versus Teal.
God, that's an old. Tell them what that is, Gavin. I'll look it up real quick.
It's some fan machinima version, I think.
Yeah,
Or
it
something.
was made by like.
There's also one called
some kids.
Sponsors versus Freeloaders.
X versus Y. We've had it. Whatever.
Well, I think X Chronicles too. X versus Y, the Z Chronicles.
Oh,
It's always
right,
some
right.
version of Chronicles. But the Salmon versus Teal, that was he was like a 13-year-old kid. I want to say his name was Squiggy.
I thought it was Fluffy.
Something like that on the site, and he made his own show, Halo Machinima Show, right after Red vs. Blue became popular. He started like episode 6 of our show, and that was when we first identified the phenomenon of how brutal the audience can be on your behalf. So, go ahead.
All right, so I Heart Red versus Blue is win 5 war games in matchmaking, which is I guess the war games are the new like invasion.
It's like
types.
PvP stuff.
Yeah. And then Roses versus Violets. That's the find the Easter egg, the RVB Easter egg, and
One of the RVB Easter eggs, plural.
Plural.
So that's been
So-
published. So
So apparently
dun dun dun.
there might be more than
Excited.
one.
I'm so excited about that game.
So yeah, but this guy, it's like we identified the audience can like take over and be unbelievably brutal about something, and then he ended up quitting making the series. But that's something over time we've noticed where we'll run into people who make shows online and we're like, oh hey, yeah, nice to meet you. They go, yeah, whatever. It's like, what's the problem? It's like when I first put out my show, you guys were in my comments brutalizing me. I'm like, we had nothing to do with it. That wasn't us.
We have time to go out and do that. Kind
Well,
of
no,
stuff.
it's one of those things where they just when they see like a boatload of fans show up and brutalize something, and then you're like, cut it out, because then people think that we're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We only do that for iTunes polls. That's all we do it for.
Yeah. Suck it. We're reaping the rewards now.
Yeah, but I was the person last week who went crazy and like got all our imagery together for this thing.
Yeah.
So I was like coordinating for what we were going to give to iTunes and what was going to end up in the marquee.
So do you think people are going to click that banner?
I don't know. Who
The
knows?
picture of you and Gus?
Well, the picture of me with my name misspelled as of right
Bernie
now.
Burns.
Bernie Burns.
So of course, after all the effort that I put in, it's like I'm the one. Gus is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Of course.
I was on my way to the airport. I had to come back to the office to take that picture.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow.
I stopped in, took a bunch of pictures. There was an outtake where I tried to fit the entire microphone in my mouth, and I realized that the microphones stink.
No,
yeah.
they got people's mouth and
Yeah,
lunch
like as
all
I
over.
took it out, I was like, "Oh, that was awful. I should not have done that."
Some of the pop filters that Michael uses for Rage Quit, it's like, there's a piece of carrot or something just like jammed up in there. It's like
Michael's never eaten a carrot in his life.
in this
he had
past
onion rings for breakfast this morning.
You mentioned Michael. I now have to go next door and see if he has some of those cherry gummy bears.
Oh, yeah?
in this past AWU, I did that creeper thing where I came up to the microphone
Oh,
and hissed
yeah.
into it. You're like, Gus just spit all over the mic.
Yeah, you totally spit all over that
It's
microphone.
because the pop filters are black and they really show up.
Dude,
anyway.
I actually replaced our 2 pop filters we had been using in the Achievement Hunter office, and so I cut into it to like open it up, and it was like this puff of dust came
yeah.
out.
It's
just
like when you-
it's all dead skin. And
Did you ever have those?
Why does he have?
Someone sent him
Those
a bag
gummy bears.
Like what?
Someone close that door.
So Michael tried to eat the 5-pound gummy bear,
Yeah.
and he did so terribly at it. He only ate the head.
This was a lot of gummy
Or
bear.
I like to say just the tip. And so as consolation prize, somebody sent him 5 pounds of gummy bears.
Share the love,
That's
dude.
awesome.
Share the love.
Here you go. So they're all like cherry
These
gummy
are
bears.
authentic gummy brand bears. What are these?
Oh, speaking of bets, I paid off Michael on our Twitter bet.
Chewing these is gonna sound awful on the mic.
Oh, absolutely.
We're fine.
But last week before I left for PAX, I was like, Michael, he beat me on the Twitter thing, which was cool. Like him and I, we had these parallel Twitter followers, like counts.
No one believes
And
what
then-
you're saying right now. Nobody believes that you're cool with this.
No, I really don't give a shit.
You
Like,
absolutely
it
did.
It was such a long bet that I really didn't care. Like I just got
If
bored
you
of it.
won, you would have cared. You'd have been all over it. You'd
I
be
don't
like,
give a shit.
way.
So at PAX, we came in early actually because we went to E and Chloe's wedding, Kitty Chicks, and while we were there, I bumped into Jamie from Calamity Jamie from the Penny Arcade Child's Play.
I love her. She's awesome.
She's awesome, and I paid off Gavin and I's bet from the Trials Evolution thing directly to her.
That was like 4 months ago.
It was like 4 months ago, and I've always been meaning to do it, but Gus saw me do it.
I was a witness.
He vouched
the
for
debt
it.
has
Cool.
been paid, and I got drunk and forgot about it till right now when you reminded
Well,
me.
there you go. But also, while we were there, I came up with a really cool concept for something we're going to do with Child's Play next summer at RTX.
Oh, I wouldn't even tease that. Let's keep that under wraps for
That's
now.
going to be very, very awesome. Though.
How was E and Kitty's wedding?
Very, very unique.
They had a video interruption where Will Wheaton joined over TV and interrupted the wedding.
Join the wedding?
And talked about his mother getting fucked.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was pretty funny.
Yeah. And then Guilty Spark cut in at one point, took over the microphones. And so Guilty Spark said hello and tried to take over the wedding as well. And E actually came out to the Oregon Ducks fight song, which was funny.
Guilty Spark, like the character.
Yeah.
The voice actor
The
who plays
voice.
Guilty Spark in Halo?
It was like pre-recorded
Was
stuff.
it filtered like it was in Halo? That's
It
awesome.
sounded exactly like it.
I
So-
love that. That's probably one of my favorite voices in anything ever.
Do you know that filter that they use for that character in Halo when we were going to do a monitor effect? It's kind of like the voice filters that we use for the red versus blue characters upstairs. We have one program that does that filter, and that's it. We haven't been able to replicate it in anything else. Same situation with Guilty Spark. They have a program that is so far
So
out of date
obsolete.
now, but they keep it just because it's the Guilty Spark voice.
That filter. It sounds like it kind of like goes up and down. Like there's
Like a
like
warble.
like a
yeah.
flange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flange.
I don't know, flange or flange?
I think you're right. It's flange.
Yeah.
So I
What
want
the
to.
hell is a salmon flange?
That's funny. I want to remind everyone that this podcast is supported by Sanshi, who make awesome video game T-shirts. You wore one this past.
I wore one on Awu. They provided my wardrobe.
Yeah, they make a bunch of video game stuff. You've probably seen their shirts and didn't realize that it was them. I would highly recommend you check it out. It's SANSHEE.com. Awesome products. And they were at RTX this last year.
They were.
And they signed up. They're going to be at RTX again this coming year. So show them some love. They definitely
Kick ass.
support us.
Announcement.
I wonder
That announcement, yeah, that's true. I had not announced that yet.
I wonder if I can get like a box of shirts from Sanchi and be like, here's your wardrobe for Awu for the next 2 months or whatever.
I thought you were going to say give them away.
Oh, no,
That'd be much cooler than you getting fucking free shirts.
No, I think that'd be much cooler if I just got free shirts.
I'm moving into a new place, and that's like my total strategy for wardrobe is I'm gonna probably reduce my overall clothing by like 75%.
So how many like t-shirt or how many shirts do you have? Do you think?
Too many. Yeah, and there's ones I just never wear. Like I go through rotation. And
I've done that with actual clothing, but in underwear, I've done the exact opposite. Like, I bought like £120 worth of just boxes, just because I'm sick of doing
Now,
laundry
see
so
the way
often.
when you say it, it
Yeah.
sounds like you have like 100, like a whole trunk full of underwear. Like you have 120 pounds,
British
like
pounds sterling.
So that's like $200 worth of underwear.
Uh huh.
So that's a lot of underwear.
You can
Yeah.
do that.
That's like 6?
What?
Hey, stand up, pull your pants out. What do you wear? Let's see what you got.
He stepped on his microphone cord and tried to stand up, and or he stepped on his headphone cord trying to stand up, and
That's
the
like
headphones.
getting out of a car with
pounded
the
back on
seatbelt
it.
So
still
Gavin
on.
is wearing black boxer
those
briefs.
What brand are those?
Are those regular boxers or boxer briefs?
You're not gonna find the front.
They're not a real brand. They're just.
Don't pull the front.
Yeah, that was awful. What I just saw there.
What did you see? Too much skin.
Yeah, no, I did not see any skin.
you
Is the
see-
problem? I saw a mat of fur.
Yeah.
You didn't see neck?
It looked like your head, Bernie, picking out from the top of his underwear.
I gotta get a haircut. But the
You're not the only one.
when Gavin, when we asked him what brand his underwear was, he pulled down the front of his underwear.
It says the name's written on the front. I'm not pulling it down. I'm just tilting it up so I can read
No,
it.
you pulled it down.
You did.
Look, it says right there.
That's not what you did, though. You pulled it down. I'm not looking again. You
Hey, go.
fucking fooled me once. Huh?
I think
I'm done with that.
you'll give him
Jesus.
$20.
Speaking of gross stuff, are you going to say something?
I was just start talking about packs.
No,
Go
yeah.
for it. Talk about
Can we talk about Awu? Yeah, so we recorded Awu there on the show floor. That was a lot of fun. I freaked myself out because we record Awu with a microphone, like we plug it directly into the camera. And I thought it would,
Wow, there's a production
Wow.
secret.
oh, well, I mean, sometimes I'll shoot, like, if I'm on the road, I'll shoot Awu, like, on a flip. So I'm just, like, talking into, like, the on-camera mic.
Don't
but
ever use a flip
well, I mean,
for anything ever.
It's easier to travel. It's easier to travel with a flip than it is to, check in
It's
a
easy
whole
to travel
case.
with an iPhone.
Okay,
Yeah, but with the iPhone, you have to hold it sideways. It's awkward. The flip, at least you can hold vertically and still get a 16:9.
But also,
image.
like at a convention, you can't use something like that. You have to have some sort of directional microphone, otherwise you're going to pick up all the shit around you.
Right.
So we recorded the Awu, and I actually edited it on the plane yesterday, flying home. And I listened to it and I freaked out because all I heard was the on-camera mic, and it sounded terrible. And I was like, "Oh my god, I didn't get the audio mic, or the audio from it." But then I realized there are 4 tracks of audio, and this blended them all together when I was listening to playback. And I was able to remove it and get it down to just the single one, so it worked out in the end.
That would have been terrible.
But Eric from Mega 64 kind of like poked his head in, and so he made a little cameo appearance. He then showed up to the comments on the YouTube thread and started like just trolling the shit out of everyone, talking about how we're terrible and we didn't sign his Halo shirts for him.
Awesome.
And then of course all the people went nuts for him. And so
Oh, they did?
yeah.
Good for him. Get a fucking job.
So we had a panel. We did a kind of Q&A/podcast style. Kind of shot the shit. We announced RTX 2013 will be July 5th, 6th, and 7th.
3 days.
3 days.
3-day event in beautiful Austin,
Did
Texas.
you want to do more work? Is that why?
Yeah, I figured 2 days was a piece of cake. Why not do 3?
What do you think? You can fly in on the 3rd, and then go watch the fireworks over Lake Austin on the 4th, then go to RTX on the 5th, 6th, and 7th. It'll be fun. Everyone should do that.
We're hard at work lining people up. We got, like I said, Sanchi's coming. I also announced at that panel that Game Minder's coming, and they're also a sponsor of this week's podcast.
Sweet.
And Awu.
You know we have a cold front coming into Austin?
So
Yeah,
wait, in December?
it's going to get down to a brisk 95.
Well, it does signify, though, that fall is starting finally, that
No.
we made it through the summer.
No. Fall starts on October 31st.
Oh,
No, it does not. It
shit.
starts September 21st.
It's Halloween every year is when it gets cold in Austin.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You're
Okay.
saying the
Yeah.
official beginning
No,
of autumn.
official. Yeah, no. I'm saying it gets cold in Austin on Halloween.
Yeah, but it's like we've made it through the summer. Like, this was not a bad summer. You have to admit.
We got 7 days of 100-degree weather coming up, man. We're not done with summer.
Yeah, we're done with
This
it.
is going to be my first American Halloween. I've never celebrated Halloween in my life.
Okay, what the fuck is a British Halloween? I
gotta know
have
this
to
too.
know.
Well, just like less. Nobody really gives a damn.
So nobody really gives a damn?
Just less enthusiasm about it. Someone. Ugh.
What is less enthusiasm? You only wear half a costume? You only wear the top?
It's just
and
a
wear
half-ass
jeans?
holiday. I don't know anyone who cares about Halloween or does anything for it.
You're like
So
werewolf
well-
from the waist up and then down your jeans? You're like werewolf casual?
Who do you know that cares about Halloween here?
Everyone.
Really?
Everyone goes batshit over Halloween.
I think so.
Really?
Do you?
No.
Oh.
You know,
don't
well,
go
Austin,
to Halloween parties. You're not going to do one.
Austin
No.
is actually a pretty big Halloween town because
Yeah.
there's a big celebration on 6th Street. There's usually like 1 million people who go to that thing.
I will say
You-
Halloween
you
on
gotta
6th Street
go-
is fun.
See all the slutty girls.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it does seem
I'm
like
sorry, the costumes.
it does seem like Halloween has gotten sluttier over time.
Oh, definitely.
Like, the ratio, I want to see a graph. Like, the sluttiness over
Slutty
time.
versus time.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I mean, granted, I didn't go to a lot of Halloween parties. When I was a kid, I thought trick or treating, but I don't remember seeing too many like sexy nurses or.
There's a sexy anything.
yeah, exactly.
I think my wife said the one thing she hasn't seen is a sexy version of the little fat kid from Up. That's the last
All right.
thing that's untouched
All right.
in sexy format.
I challenge the 5 female listeners to our podcast
to make a sexy
what's his
fat
name?
kid
Is his
from
name
Up. Randall. I
Randall.
think.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
God.
If we get a sexy fat kid from Up.
been
Jessica
talking to
Negri, if you're
people-
listening.
Do you really want the sexy Boy Scout outfit? Is that really what you want to go for?
on some people, I could see them pulling that off.
So apparently,
I've got a
everyone,
good imagination.
everyone cried at that movie that I've spoken to.
Fuck yeah,
The
dude.
first 10 minutes of that movie, you start bawling your eyes out.
I have never cried at a movie in
You
my
have-
life.
You have no
You've
soul.
never cried at a movie.
No.
The end of Toy Story 3, you didn't cry.
No, of course I didn't cry. I'm not going to cry at some computer animated shapes.
So that begs the question,
Jesus.
Gavin. What have you cried over? Have you cried in your adult life?
I don't think so.
Really?
I had tears coming out of my eyes when my ball was twisting around, but that wasn't
That's pain.
crying. That
That's
was
not
just,
emotional
that's
crying.
pain.
That's
that was
pain.
that was my body trying to make my face wet.
When
for
was
some
the last
reason.
time? When
So
was the last time you cried
what?
from emotion?
I don't do that.
So your emotional growth is stunted.
I don't have any emotion,
Exactly.
You have no emotion?
but I have like a block of stone or concrete where my heart is.
I've seen you laugh.
Oh, that's true. Oh yeah. That's probably the weakest laugh I've ever
No,
seen
I
from
just I don't get. I'm not a crier.
No, not. Have you ever had any serious loss?
Yes, it's sad. Sad. There's some sad times.
Yeah?
But I don't cry. I mean, I don't see the point of crying.
Wait,
I'm
hey,
not sure why tears come out of your eyes.
you. Hey, Gavin.
Hi.
How's your day?
Top.
Ah.
So let me
What- what's
give you
a
a scenario.
tearful?
Let me give you a scenario here. You find out somebody gives you a call. Lloyd, your cat, is dead in England.
Ah.
Would that make you sad?
Yeah.
Would you cry over that?
No.
Lloyd, the dead cat?
How long have you had Lloyd?
5 years.
It's not his
Fine.
cat. It's his sister's cat.
It's not even called Lloyd, but
If one of my cats died, I would totally cry over my cats.
I would. But no, I wouldn't.
You also love your cats way more than most people.
That's true.
No, I really like my cat, but I'm not going to cry. I don't really know why people cry. What do you? Is there like a chemical release that soothes
It's just
the
an
brain?
emotional release.
Yeah, but what does it do? And why do you have tears come out?
It's not like you willed the tears out. It's
Yeah,
like
you know,
you're
Gavin
sad.
sounds like an android trying to figure out emotion. Like, what are
It's
tears?
like you're sad and they just come out.
He needs to better masquerade in human society. Tell me how to do this.
No, like sometimes like if you cry, it's good to get that emotion out. Like if you wake up like hungover and your stomach feels like shit, like if you just throw up, it'll make you make yourself feel better.
This is like Jack on Saturday and Sunday morning at PAX.
Well, Thursday morning and Sunday morning, yeah. But it's like one of those things. It's like, sometimes you just got to do it. Got to get that out of your system.
Gus, do you cry?
I cried it up. I'll admit it.
What you cried it up?
I cried
yeah.
up.
Cried at up. I can't think of another movie that made me cry. You ever hear about Sophie's Choice?
No.
That's a bad one.
Yeah. No, you didn't like feel emotion at all at the beginning of Up.
No.
I've told this story on the podcast, like my what happened with me in Up. Did I tell you about that? That was in Los Angeles at the time, and I was literally moving my cats. Of course, it comes back to my cats. I was moving my cats from the place I was staying to another friend's apartment, and as I was moving my cats one of my cats out of the car to my friend's door, like a weird noise happened. Like something happened where basically it's made this scary noise. She clawed my arm and then hit the ground and bolted and just ran. And I chased after her, and she ran like across the street, cars like honked and stuff. And then I lost her, and she was gone. And it was just like I watched this cat I had for like 7 years just run away from me, and it was just like heartbreaking. And then I like spent 2 hours looking for her, couldn't find her. It's like, well, that sucks. Let's go to the movie. What are we gonna go see? Up. Okay. And then so I went from that like emotional event to like the first 15 minutes of Up, which is like just punches your heart in the balls. Yeah. And then like that night, it was just like in like Los Angeles wasn't going very well for me. I had a bunch of stuff kind of fall flat, and it's just like I broke down that night. It was like I like that was like my lowest point
I know
probably.
Did you go fetal?
You tried to find that cat. You tweeted about that cat for
Oh, yeah.
it seems like 2 weeks.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like, and then like 2 weeks later, I got a call that she was under someone's porch because she still had her collar on, which had my phone number on it. And so someone called me and said, "I think your cat's living under my back deck." And sure enough, this is out in Beverly Hills, California. I went back and I found her, and she'd lost a bunch of weight, but she was good.
That is awesome.
Yeah, and so she, then I managed to get her into the car and took care
When
of her.
you
and-
So to clarify for Gavin, did you smile when the happy thing happened? How did that make you feel?
Was there a chemical reaction?
I was very, very excited.
Why would you get happy?
There's something, I gotta say that when you look for something for a while and you find it, finding something almost makes it worth losing it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Like I totally, like, it makes you,
You get new respect
appreciate
for
it.
things.
Yeah, the feeling of like finding something like that overwhelming relief of
Yeah,
finding it.
but
my stupid ass dog got out.
Oh my god!
Dogs are so stupid. I don't know why we let them in our houses and hang out with us. The fucking door is a little bit ajar. It's the middle of the night. It's like 10 at night. Somehow the door was ajar. The dog saw the door was open, so it's like, I'm just going to ruin my life. And so it just ran out and was gone. Like it was going to go to live with another family. Couldn't find its way back because it's a fucking dog. It's stupid.
So what-
And the worst thing is like you chase a dog and they think you're playing with them and they just run more.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was gone till like the next day.
It's the worst thing about animals is when you have to do something unpleasant to an animal to help it. They don't know you're trying to help.
Yeah.
Right.
So
They'll bite you.
Or a
Wait.
British person.
I guess my dog got out a couple months ago. It ran out the front door. My wife said she stood in the door and just yelled at him and told him to stop. And I guess like out of terror, he just stopped dead in his tracks in the middle of the front yard. And she just walked over and picked him up.
I had a cat. You guys remember Finch the gray cat? She
Yeah,
used to be
I
the
do.
office cat.
Office cat Buda.
She was so she lived in my apartment forever. She got out one time and ran. I didn't realize this. She'd never been outside the apartment for like her first 3 years of her life. When she hit open sky above her, she froze and like got as low to the ground as possible. She looked like a snake, and she was like looking up and like walking while looking at the open sky. That would be weird if you've
Yeah.
never seen that before. Yeah, she was freaked out.
Weird. I never thought about that.
We stayed in a hotel one time when we went down to Australia where this is kind of creepy. This is like a Shining kind of a thing where I guess it had an old school like Victorian era ballroom that then they had like divided up and turned into rooms. So your room was like a section of a ballroom.
That's weird.
But then what ended up happening is you'd lay in bed and it was like a 24-foot ceiling. So it was the weirdest feeling of laying in bed and looking up, and the ceiling was like so far away.
So all the walls had gone all the way up to the ceiling?
Yeah. So it's
Wow.
like they're normal rooms, but they had like 24 foot. I mean, they were enormous.
That'd give me a nightmare. I'd think I was in like a shoebox or something.
It's almost like if you were in the studio. I think our ceilings out there
Yeah.
are like 25 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like because you're in a
Yeah.
hotel room, it's so narrow. It's like this like straight up. It felt like you were like waking up like in a space shuttle or something. You know that you defied my ability to like navigate the room geographically. It was really weird. I never wanted to experience that again.
That's really bizarre.
PAX.
So yeah, I was gonna bring it back to PAX. Like always, we don't ever get to see very many things on the show floor. People are always like, "Oh, what's your favorite thing? What you see?" It's like, I see what's around me.
Yeah.
But luckily this year we actually had 2 cool games right by us.
Yeah. We had
Marvel Heroes, which
free to play MMO.
Yeah, free to play MMO. I think it's starting beta October 1st.
What is that? Is that a kids game?
No, it's like a free to play MMO.
When you say Marvel Heroes, it reminds me of like those little miniature figures they have.
Oh
That
no,
are like,
yeah.
No, and we have some friends who are on that too. Stephen Reed, who used to be over at BioWare, he was Rockjaw. He's now over there working. Apparently, it's Gazillions doing that,
Right.
And that was the company he was working for. Actually, him and David Bass both worked for that company and then left there to go to BioWare. And also Robin, who's one of the video guys over there. Saw him.
Yeah, and they had a great
Cosplayer.
Black Widow cosplayer there working
Yeah.
in their booth. We also had another game I'd never heard of called Novus Aeterno, which I guess is like an independent MMO RTS that's being developed. It's you might actually really like this. So it's like an RTS where like each server essentially has 10,000 solar systems.
wow, I'm so
And
already.
you can see the scale. Like you can zoom out and you just see like all these tiny points of light everywhere. Like each of those is a solar system with multiple planets, and then you build like a fleet of ships and ground troops and try to take over as much as you can, while other players in real time are also playing real time strategy against you, trying
what?
to take over
Fuck
yours.
those other players? No, get out.
It was really awesome, and they have. It seems like they're gonna have a really robust economy, and so like if you don't want to be a fighter, you can just manufacture ships and trade them and sell them to people, or manufacture, parts to a ship and sell them and
dude.
trade them to other people,
That's exactly
and
what I
have
would
them
do.
be your muscle. So you just sit there and like work the economy over.
That's cool. I like that kind of stuff.
I had a weird thing when you're talking about scale. I hate to take us away from the PAX
it's
discussion,
fine.
but I saw something that was pretty crazy. So, Gavin,
Yeah.
you know what dinosaurs are, right?
Yeah.
And they used to walk the earth for a long
They also
time.
don't have emotions. So.
What? they didn't cry when they killed each other. What happened to the dinosaurs? What's the most popular, commonly accepted theory of what happened to the dinosaurs? Do you know?
They just evolved into other things.
That is completely incorrect, but okay.
Or a big meteor came down and smashed the
There you
earth. out.
go.
There we go. Okay,
I'm
so
pretty sure that wouldn't wipe out all the dinosaurs on the earth.
Then the remaining ones evolved. Okay,
okay, they evolved into sharks and crocodiles.
but they evolved into ash.
So I saw, for whatever reason, I was on a kick of like looking up asteroids and scale of asteroids, and so there's a scale representation of the asteroid that hit the Yucatan Peninsula. Is approximately where it landed. That wiped out all life on Earth, or not all life, but you know
Yeah.
that basically made that era end and made all the dinosaurs go extinct. This is nuts. So we're gonna have to put this up in the link dub. And Gus, why don't you describe what the link dub is? Real
So
quick.
if you visit our site at roosterteeth.com/podcast, or if you download this off of iTunes, you probably will see a link right now on your iOS device, and we'll just link stuff that we talk about.
Yeah, if we ever talk about it, we always put it up somewhere, like a link to a video or a link to this image here. So this is a scale image of the Earth and the dinosaur-killing asteroid that changed it. Can you even see the asteroid in this photo?
No. Is it over a black part or over the Earth?
It's on the black part. That's it.
No.
That's the asteroid that wiped out all life on
Whoa.
Earth.
There's pieces of dust and lint on your screen that are bigger than that.
I know. I have to scroll the screen back and forth so you can see it in the image. That's that dot right there. In comparison to the Earth, it's like a grain of sand
So-
in comparison to like a boulder. That's what it looks
Jesus.
like.
So what was it that it did?
I think it ejects so much shit into the air that it starts to blanket the Earth and cause a cooling. So, like when the Krakatoa volcano erupted in Indonesia, it was a similar thing, not quite on the scale, where the whole world's temperature went down
Just because it's blocking the sun.
drastically for several years.
Wow.
Because so much material gets ejected into the atmosphere.
Because I always read a theory of the moon was that some other planet smashed into Earth and bounced off, and just the chunk that came off Earth just started orbiting the Earth. And
That
that's
is
the moon.
correct.
Is that what
Yeah.
happened with the moon?
And it just shows
So that must
gravity,
have
like
been-
all the pieces couldn't escape the gravitational
That
pull
must
of
have
the
been
Earth.
a massive impact.
Yeah.
It was probably early enough to where the Earth didn't have much of an atmosphere, so there probably wasn't much to slow it down.
No, it was a huge chunk, too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
the
it was
moon's
probably
enormous, you know? And,
But how does everything become so perfectly rounded afterwards then?
It spins and continues to get hit by stuff.
and the, I'm not sure it's like all like what we're thinking of as being like chunks of rock. It could be like, you know, and it's a little different when everything's being shaped, but I think the moon was made in about a month, like the body. Like it collided, and then everything was in orbit, so essentially Earth had like a ring in the orbit of the moon, and then that all condensed down to make the moon.
So why does it take so long to build a skyscraper if you can make the moon in a month?
Because it's not two massive bodies smashing into one another.
I can tell you this: humans cannot make the moon in a month. How about that?
Let me tell you something. Austin, I love this town. Our freeway system, the Texas freeway system in general is good because unlike a lot of states, if you see a freeway, you can get on the goddamn thing.
Yeah, you drive next to it in the direction, and then you get on.
Then you get on, right? In California, you can follow a freeway for like 4 miles, and nope, then the freeway just goes away. You're like, I was here a second ago, and I want to get on it. Where'd it go? Then you got to go down 4 streets and come back and loop back and go over an overpass to get to it. But no, in Texas, you can get on a freeway if you can see it. However, in Austin, it's always been a goddamn nightmare in that our freeways are not connected to one another. There's no ramps that lead from like what we call 35.
Do they not cross though? Do they not actually go over each other at some points?
They do, but there's no flyover ramps. There haven't been.
There
flyover
are on
ramps.
some of them.
Now there are.
Now there are.
Now there are. But you would think this
'Cause that'd
was
be
like
ridiculous.
the equivalent of building the pyramids is
Yeah.
building all the flyover ramps in Austin just to go from one goddamn freeway to another.
Yeah.
Well, right there, 71 in Ben White, that area. They've been working on that for 14 years, I think,
They finally
to build that
finished
up.
it.
You mean 35 in Ben White?
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah. So down at Mopac and Ben White, they just finally opened one of them, and it's like the greatest thing ever. It's like, wow, I can actually use a freeway like it's a damn freeway.
Yeah, they're building 2, and they just opened one after like what, about 3 years of work.
It's a ramp.
Yeah, it's one ramp.
The developer who was working on it went out of business and couldn't finish it because they fucked it up.
Yeah, and then they got a new developer, and they found out like the columns that were supporting the stuff were broken. Like they weren't good, so they had to tear down like 5 of the columns
Yeah.
of the 7.
Okay,
or something.
what you just described, I'm with Gavin though, is like that's a day. Knocking down a column, I'm like, get a guy and knock it down. Hold a contest. Let people come out with a sledgehammer and knock
prize.
it down.
I remember I was once filming in somewhere in like South Spain. We're filming Formula One, and we had to drive back up like really a long way to an airport somewhere. And the guy I was with, there's something about people over 60. They just can't read a GPS or a sat nav or anything. They just don't know where to turn.
Well, they don't want to interface with the screen.
So he was like, do I turn here? Do I turn here? I was like, no, don't turn here. He turned, and we ended up driving down this road. We were trying to, because it was the wrong way, we tried to turn around. We had to drive for 40 minutes in a straight line, and we could see the other side of the road, just on the other side of the barrier, like, to come back.
So you were driving the wrong way down the road?
No, we were
Okay.
driving, it was like a two-directional
Okay,
road.
okay.
There was no way to loop around and go back, until we had to drive 40 minutes through a toll booth. And then
Then
once
turn around?
Once we were past the toll booth, we had to then turn around and go back through it, so pay again.
Oh, my
Come all the way back. It was
God.
literally the most annoying wrong turn
So you
I've ever
went 80
experienced.
minutes out of the way and had to pay twice for it.
And we were on the way to the airport, missed the flight. It was top.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually have an F1 race coming to Austin in November. And as a matter of fact, flying out to Seattle, or no, I think flying back from Toronto. That's what it was. I saw the track, like we
Oh,
flew
really?
over the track, and I got so
I
excited.
couldn't
by it.
imagine anything more boring than watching a Formula One race.
Have you heard those cars, man?
I feel this.
I've been right next to one. I had to get a close-up of a wheel spin.
Yeah.
And it was for the BBC. It was for Top Gear. So health and safety was just a bag of crap. So I'm right there, and it goes, all right, go. Because what they do, they can't wheel spin from, like, turn on the engine and wheel spin. He had to do a lap and then stop for about 5 seconds. And in that 5 seconds, I had to frame up on the wheel and then focus. So I didn't have time to, like, move away. And then he just goes...
Yeah, I think
And I couldn't hear anything for about 5 minutes afterwards. I was like, that was the loudest.
Did you
I
not
could
have, like-
feel my eardrums just shaking like this. I had no ear protection.
Why the fuck did you not have ear
BBC
protection?
sucks.
That's your. If it's not their responsibility to get your. I mean, I'm sure
Absolutely.
it
They're
is, but
saying,
you
go
should still
there and
know.
get the shot.
I would still think you would hear this, this raging car and be like, "Hey guys, my ears. I'm a 12-year-old boy.
Dude,
I need
nobody
to film
plans
this."
anything. You're in the moment. It's like I'm not gonna like ruin the shot by running away before I'm ready. So I was like right there up until the last minute, and then my ears were just destroyed by this Formula One. I think it was Alonso in his Renault.
I have no idea what that means.
He's a Formula One driver.
Yeah.
Plus, it's the 18-year-old kid running the camera. Everyone's laughing their ass
Yeah,
off
exactly.
watching his
It
eardrums
really hurt.
shatter.
It was like it was painful. It was like two knives just going like.
They're like, "Look at the dumbass that doesn't have ear protection on."
On the way back from PAX, did you see how close we flew over Mount Rainier?
No,
I thought
no.
something might have been wrong the way
Oh,
we were
really?
flying right into it.
I
No.
made a joke to Jack when he was taking off. Don't fly into a mountain.
Like, you know how normally it's always off in the distance and you're like, oh, look, over there, that's Mount Rainier. We flew right on top of it. Like, I was like, oh, look, it's kind of off to the left. Now we're banking left.
Uh-oh.
Wow, we are headed, we're right, yep, there it is. We're right on top of the mountain.
I did not see
flew,
that.
We flew right over it.
Did you see your shadow coming up on the mountain?
That's
No,
pretty
I didn't.
cool.
That was fucked up.
Were you on the left or right side of the plane?
Left.
Huh?
If you
I
looked at
completely missed it.
yeah, you were sitting on
Yeah,
the
I
same
was sitting
side.
on the left side too. So I don't know. I must have. Actually, I may have been editing Abu at that point.
He was thinking, the audio, it's gone wrong.
But I really didn't have any fascination with the F1 track that's showing up here in Austin. I thought, I'm not interested in IndyCar. It's like
Dude.
IndyCar to us.
Yeah.
But somebody showed me a video online that was pretty impressive. This is the same curve on a track, and it's on two different races they filmed cars. So this is GT cars versus F1 cars on the same bit of track. And GT's on the left and F1's on the right.
Is there the same speed I assume? Holy shit!
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
gone.
those
What's
cars
the speed
are
difference?
tremendously fast.
I think like 100 miles an hour faster.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
Yeah.
those things are jets on the ground, man.
I wouldn't even drive 100 miles an hour. Thanks, fucking dickhead. God damn it.
Somebody's poked their head in and slammed the door.
I mean, you obviously don't say anything because you see we're recording, then you slam the fucking door. Thanks.
But it's why people get hit. Because even if you
'Cause they're
see
going
one come
fast.
over the hill, you can't react that quickly.
No, did you see the guy who was driving an F1 car and a piece of something like was bouncing on the track and hit him in the head? And like it basically it made him brain dead, I think. But it hit his helmet and basically it's just like he didn't, slowly kept going forward and hit
Yeah.
a wall. But yeah, like you see this like little blip on the playback and it's just like, oh, there's something, and then he's
Wow.
dead basically.
They need windshields.
Yeah. Well, you think like you think the wind of the car would just prevent anything from getting into the cockpit because they're going so fast and they're aerodynamic,
They're actually
But-
very safe for what they
Yeah.
are. Like,
Yeah,
you-
tell that to that guy.
There was actually a really violent wreck that happened this past weekend or the weekend before on the first turn of a big race. So like all these guys lined up in this one turn, like took out like 5 cars and they're flipping and exploding.
The best is when there's a massive pile up at the beginning of an F1 race, and you
Yeah,
think,
that is
wow,
the
that's
best.
that's like $100 million worth of damage right there.
Yeah,
In-
so
in
the
about-
best.
Was-
Do you like when you see like a really expensive car, like the guys racing Ferraris, and they or like a guy like speeding away in a Lamborghini from a street light, and then he immediately wrecks the car?
is that Lamborghini?
I feel like I see a lot of videos like that out of Houston or the Woodlands. I've seen a couple in the
Yeah.
past year.
The Woodlands.
I drove by. I was on 35 in traffic the other day, and I drove by a Ferrari sitting in traffic.
Yeah?
It's like,
Wow.
why are you driving that out here? What's the point?
No, I'm excited for the F1 track, but I'm terrified about the location because there's only really 2 roads that go out there, and they're both like 2-lane wide roads.
What, so
And
you
it's going to
worry
be
about traffic?
100,000 people trying to get through those 2 lanes. Of
I've heard
traffic.
estimates it's supposed to be like 3 hours to get from downtown to there,
Ugh.
when normally it would take maybe 30 minutes, if that.
Yeah, it's that. But I know that they're busting ass right now trying to get some stuff done. Like they're trying to build the overpass at Riverside on 71. I think they're trying to get that done in time for the race. So that'll be at least one.
Oh, are they? I thought that was going to be done for like 2 years.
No, I
Again, like why can't we do things more fast?
Well, I thought that was the thing
more
that
quickly?
they're trying to get it done in time to.
It's like procrastination on a like city level. Oh, we've got to get it done now. Go, go, go.
Well, it's also, you also see that happen like during South by Southwest. Like like they seem to always be working on the goddamn roads during South by Southwest, or like another event where a whole bunch of people come into town.
You know what I got stopped by the other day? We were going up north to visit a game developer, and I was just about to cross like this little feeder road to get to the developer, and all of a sudden the train track warnings come down, and the commuter train in Austin goes by. I was like, "You got to be kidding me!" What are the chances that we get stopped by our one commuter train
Yeah.
that we have in the whole city?
The
A
genius.
guy died right by there.
Yeah.
Really? Doing
Like
what?
the stop before the one you're complaining about. He went and the train hit him.
He went. What he go? He went over the tracks. He
Yeah.
didn't believe it. I believe,
No, because it was a private driveway, so it didn't have the arms.
Ew, that's
so
gross.
he wasn't looking, and he just went and it hit him.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there you go.
Was everybody okay on the commuter train too?
Yeah. Usually.
Everyone in the commuter train was fine.
There are probably 2 people on the commuter train.
I mean,
No, those things are packed.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Let's be honest though. The commuter train that's in Austin, it's not even as good as most of the trains in an airport in most major cities, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the train you get on in the Las Vegas airport is a better, bigger train than the one we have.
Well, it goes to like northwest Austin, like the Leander Cedar Park area.
It's got like 2 stops.
Yeah, it goes like from there to downtown. It's like, how was the first stop made not from downtown to the airport?
I don't know.
And how was the second stop not downtown to the UT campus?
I don't know.
Like that, I mean, that would make so much sense. Like if you can go park somewhere and take a train to the stadium to go watch a football game.
I think that was part of the first plan that got voted down like in 2000. So
Well-
then this is like what they came up with instead.
I think the light rail was on the ballot for like 10 years until they finally got something pushed through, and it's the one that got pushed through. But Yeah, I mean, I would like if we had something. If we had a train, like a commuter train that went from like Slaughter and Manchac down in South Austin to like downtown, I would take it all the time. I'd go
Bullshit,
downtown.
you wouldn't because you don't take the bus, so you wouldn't take the train.
I would probably take a train. It seems a little bit. For some reason, like buses have weird connotations.
Well, buses
to them.
get stuck in traffic.
Yeah.
Trains, other people get the fuck out of the way.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Well, like in Los
Except for
Angeles,
that one
like,
idiot.
like I took the train in Los Angeles when I was out there for E3. I was staying in Hollywood, and E3 is downtown, and I took the train every day. Like I walked out of my hotel, took the train to downtown, then took another train to right by the convention center. It was awesome, and I would do that, no problem.
I read a story once about a guy who broke down on a train track. It was in a remote area. There was no other traffic.
Was this an
behind him.
episode of Breaking Bad?
I was gonna say. You haven't
No.
seen it yet.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Go on.
So he breaks down and he's got no service on his phone. So he's like, well, I can't move my car and it's stuck on the train track and a train might come. So he's like running around trying to find someone, like there's nobody there to help him move his car. And he's there for like 20 minutes trying to figure out what to do. He ends up like walking down one end of the track. He didn't know which way a train might come. And then after like 20 minutes, a train came by, hit it, derailed, and I think 7 people died. But
Who
imagine
the fuck couldn't push their own car off a track?
it was like a big like Land Rover or something.
Yeah, but it's a European
Like,
car.
also,
throw
Also,
it
it's stuck,
neutral.
it's
Also-
stuck over.
aren't normally railroad tracks like? Isn't there normally a hill on either side? Like you could just get it going, the momentum will take it down.
Yeah.
Isn't it like yeah?
I don't know.
I don't believe your story.
Gavin, we're gonna try this. You can push a car
Yeah.
by yourself. You could do it.
If you throw it in neutral, you can push a car. Well, you can push my car.
You just lean on the
I
damn
know
thing.
this happened, but imagine like not being able to move it. Like, what would you do? What would you? What would
No,
you do?
I
in that
push
situation?
the car.
Yeah, but he couldn't push it.
I bet he could have pushed it. I bet he just didn't try because he figured he couldn't do it.
He's British.
Yeah. Probably he has
He didn't
emotions.
care. He had
It's like,
I don't
yeah,
know what I
whatever.
would do.
Did you saw those 7 people die? Not a tear was given.
I wonder what the deadlift equivalent of lifting up a car is. If you're not like literally lifting the whole damn
Like
thing
you want
off
to
the
lift like
car.
a corner?
You want to lift like the front, or even say a corner.
I
of
think
it.
that's pretty fucking
I always
crazy.
see Kathleen's Jag sat out there in the car park. I think I could lift that up.
No, you
It
can.
looks like a toy.
Matt's old Mini Cooper. I thought that that thing. If you ever got a bad parking space, you just pick the car up and move it, somewhere else. It does. It felt like he was getting into a roller skate every time I watched him get into that damn thing.
Should we all try and lift up Kathleen's car?
I bet combined we could probably get a corner up.
Yeah, I think we could.
The
If, between
engine's the
4 of
heaviest
us,
part.
yeah.
Just pull the engine out.
But there are dudes who deadlift like 1,000 pounds. I
Yeah.
mean, how much is the average car? I mean, a 1-ton vehicle is
like 2,000 pounds.
yeah, right. So
1
Yeah.
ton is 2,000 pounds.
Yeah.
Is it?
yep.
Nope. How much is a?
You don't know that from UK?
I know, a metric ton.
What's a metric ton?
1,000 kilograms.
Is it a metric
How many pounds
ton?
is that?
I don't know.
Don't y'all use pounds?
What we do for human weight?
Like, I
every-
think it's
everything's
stone for
measured-
human weight.
Yeah, that's pounds.
Stones are not pounds.
14 pounds in a stone.
Okay.
We went over this. The accuracy
Jesus
of
Christ.
stones.
Stones. Those are pounds.
So
There are places in the world.
well,
like,
you use feet.
That's like
Feet are
quarter.
accurate.
That's like saying like dollars or quarters. Yeah, sure, whatever.
it's like
Because there's quarters and dollars.
People used to measure like it's like a foot is like the length of a foot, isn't it?
yes,
That's where it came from.
that is where it came from. You
And
are
a
correct.
stone is bloody a rock. It's like a there you go.
Well, there's a place in
You
the
weigh
world
12 rocks.
where they have all the standards for the measurements. Where is that? Geneva? That they have that?
Yeah, we talked about this before. Like,
Yeah, for,
somewhere holds the kilogram.
Yeah.
Like, and that is how much a kilogram is,
And-
and that's the only one.
And don't they have to account for like it losing molecules? Like just,
Yeah, they're actually having to develop a new standard kilogram.
A kilogram with a longer half life.
and the so is there somewhere in England? Is there a rock that is the stone?
Yeah, it's on the queen's crown. It's a giant diamond. That's the stone.
That's why she has so many neck issues.
But it must be somewhere like under a glass case. It's just a rock.
Yeah,
and it's
stone.
like that's our stone.
I read a pretty messed up story about a couple. The guy killed himself, shot himself in the face,
Yikes.
and donated his heart to some other guy who needed a new heart. This guy then sent a thank you letter to the family.
Get out of here
Right?
with this story. Where's the story going?
This is on Reddit. I saw it on
You're
Reddit.
right, yeah. So he sent a thank you letter to the family, ends up marrying the wife of the guy that shot
The
himself.
widow.
Yeah, the widow. So this woman has banged 2 dudes, but they had the same heart.
Okay, look, you could have
Then-
made a whole different analogy about a heart transferring love from one person to another, and you went immediately for the bang metaphor.
There's more to it. Hold on.
That guy killed himself
He did?
On the same day,
on
too.
the same day that the first guy did. It's like that heart was just a suicidal heart with a love for the same woman.
Do you think that like the guy committed suicide and the heart's like, oh, finally? No.
It's put in someone else.
And then like, it's like, oh, I'm gonna start over.
Can they transplant a heart twice? Could you have 3 dudes sharing the same heart throughout their lives?
I don't
How long
know.
can you keep one heart going?
I don't know. Just keep it going forever. Just pass it down.
Yeah. Would you feel gypped if you had a heart attack, your heart popped, and they put in a heart, but then they said, this heart has been in 8 different people?
Of course you would. Or was like, yeah, we should take this heart from a 95-year-old dude. Like, what? No.
But that's amazing, though.
That's pretty damn amazing.
That's just mental.
Why? You know, they say that people do get depressed after heart surgery, and it's actually after somebody goes through like a major surgery, there's a higher chance that they'll kill themselves, which is ridiculous because they just went through this thing that, you know, saved their life.
Or they could be like Breaking Bad. They could just become a criminal empire.
So should we do our
Yes.
standard weekly feature, which is now we're going to talk about Breaking Bad without saying anything about Breaking Bad. We're
Okay,
just gonna
well,
sit
let
here
me-
and say
let-
how
okay,
good
Let me
Breaking
talk
Bad
about
is.
Game Minder
Talk about
before
Game
we do
Minder.
that. I want to remind everyone also that this week's podcast is sponsored by Game Minder, who make the Game Minder app for the iPhone and Android.
Yes, they
It's a
do.
very handy app. You can... I held it up like I'm holding it to the camera.
I know.
I've got it on my phone. You can track the release dates of various video games, and you get alerts and reminders about when they're coming out, and you can pre-order games directly from Amazon through the app.
All right, will you look up something for me then on the Game Minder app?
Go
Did I
ahead.
interrupt your...
No,
How do they make
no.
money if it's free?
Well, you can pre-order through Amazon from them. I assume they have an affiliate thing. Go
Can you
ahead.
look up Borderlands 2 for me?
I've already got that saved. So that's under September 18th.
Okay, so
Less than a month.
we should do a podcast play of Borderlands before Borderlands 2 comes out. And I think we should do the Mad Moxie DLC.
I've never
Why
played
don't we
that
just do
game.
Borderlands 2 when it comes out?
Well, I mean, we do that too. But Mad Moxie's fun because it's really long, and you have to, it's like round after round of killing stuff.
Yeah.
And I would love to get Dave in to play that.
Yeah?
She would be great. Someone who's never played before.
I've never played Borderlands before.
There's a difference
Really?
between...
That's a dirty secret. I've
Borderlands
never
is
played
awesome.
Borderlands. No, I've heard
Yeah,
nothing
I've
but good
never-
about it. I told E that at his wedding, and he's like, "What?" And I was like, "Oh God, yep."
You can see even like here that how many people are interested in like the version on different platforms, like PC versus PS3 versus 360.
Can we accept that the PS3 lost this round?
Well, if you look here, Borderlands 2, which is a AAA game,
Yeah.
in the Game Minder app, 7,200 people are waiting for the 360 version. 1,600 are waiting for the PS3 version.
Yes, we can say the PS3 lost this generation of the console
That the
wars.
Xbox 360 is wildly more popular.
Well, the Wii is better, isn't
at
it?
least in the U.S. At least in the U.S. Because
the
I mean,
Wii
like
is more.
overseas in Japan, and
How big is the market in Japan, though?
I
It's
don't
not
know.
that big,
Yeah, it's shrinking.
but it's influential.
Okay, I get that, but it's kind of like the thing if people talk about movies and they say, "Oh, like Dark Knight Rises was the most popular movie." It's like, yeah, but how popular was it in India?
Yeah.
India makes a lot of movies. It's like I don't think it's relevant. I
Yeah.
mean,
Well, isn't-
Japan makes a lot of games, but they're not a relevant PC market or gaming market. I don't think.
I saw Hideo Kojima at
oh, yeah,
PAX.
we did.
So wait, what's wrong with India?
Well, they make a lot of movies, is what I'm saying.
Well, like
But they,
Bollywood is...
but they don't spend a lot of money.
Okay.
But it's like we don't judge how good a game does or a movie does based on how well it did in India.
So are you more famous if you're the #1 Bollywood star or the #1 Hollywood star?
Oh, what are you retarded?
What?
Yeah, are you crazy? Name the #1 Hollywood star.
Why
Name,
is that
name the
retarded?
#1 Hollywood star. Answer your own question. Name the #1 Hollywood star.
I don't know.
Just name one.
Brad Pitt.
There you go. Who's the #1 Bollywood star?
Well, I don't know, but there's more people who would know Bollywood than Hollywood.
What?
But they don't spend any money on it.
Yeah, he's saying,
Like, it's
he's
such a
saying
small
there's more.
market.
He's
He's saying
there's a billion Indian people.
Yeah, if you want to be popular in India, they have the plague over there. No one cares about that.
Wow.
So my,
There's more people who know about
no,
Bollywood than
I
Hollywood.
think the overall global market for U.S. movies is way bigger
I think
than a population of India.
If Tom Cruise and the #1 Bollywood star went anywhere on the planet, 9 out of 10 times Tom Cruise is going to get recognized over that other guy.
And I'd go even higher
Probably
than that.
higher than
the
that.
guy that we can't name.
Exactly.
Who's the most famous person on the planet?
You know, Neil Armstrong recently just died. Boy, last week was a bad week to be an Armstrong.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, because Lance Armstrong got in trouble too.
What
Not
did he
that
do?
Neil Armstrong was in trouble. He decided. This is interesting. He decided to not fight the doping allegations for all of his Tour de France titles.
Well, for his entire career, not just
career.
Tour de
Well,
France.
so they can go back and do that, can they?
Yeah, like so. Basically, one guy at the U.S. Anti-Doping Agency he said he had enough evidence to make a claim against Lance Armstrong, saying that he doped through all of his career and they should pull all of his stuff. And he's been working on this for years and years and years. Lance Armstrong is retired from biking, like he just stopped, and this guy kept going after him and kept going after him. He didn't have one shred of physical evidence against him. All he had was testimony from his former teammates, from Lance's former teammates, that a bunch of which who have been scorned. They've also been caught doping, and so now they're getting all of their charges lowered or reduced to say that Lance Armstrong. Or that's part of the thing. Is if they come out and say Lance Armstrong was also doping, then all of their stuff. They're like, oh well, you're helping us in the investigation, so we're going to reduce your.
He took so many fucking tests, and he passed all of them.
Every single one.
It's fucking dumb.
And so he was finally, he's like, you know what? Like he actually put an injunction to try to stop the investigation in, and that got declined. And he's like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm done.
So he's confident with himself then.
Huh? Yeah. I mean, he never admitted to it, and like now he
So they could strip him of all his stuff if they wanted to.
They did.
They are.
There you have.
I read that if they then took his title and then I think from the first Tour de France that he won and gave it to the next player who had never had any doping allegations leveled against him, they would have to give it to the guy who finished 23rd.
Yeah.
The number 23rd finisher.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there were that many people who were.
I'm gonna say right now that guy did dope. So now
Probably a good
go
chance.
down a spot.
If Neil Armstrong
I'm
did it,
making the allegation.
would they take the moon from him? Would they say Buzz Aldrin was
Sorry.
first talk on the moon?
Well, so
It goes the buzz.
Neil Armstrong was the guy that we identified on an earlier podcast as probably the most famous guy in the world that nobody knew what he looked like.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
average person.
Everyone knows the name, nobody knows the face.
But now we all do because we all seen pictures of him because of his death last
I know
week.
he looked like when he was young.
I read that at the back when the space race was going on, it was a huge rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union. That the Cosmodrome, where they train all of their cosmonauts, that they have statues for all of their cosmonauts who were the first to do something. They have Yuri Gagarin and like first guy to ride a rocket, first guy in space, first guy to orbit the Earth. And they have one statue of Neil Armstrong for first guy on the moon.
Yeah.
It's the only American statue that they have.
Why did they even bother putting that up?
That's
Because
cool.
they wanted to acknowledge that they did not win that one.
Oh.
They have the first in every fucking other thing.
That's neat.
Except first on the moon. And that's like
And that's
the one.
the main one.
That's the one statue.
And then
It's a very classic American thing
They also-
that
they
the
also-
Soviets have the first everything, every single thing in the space race. They have the first everything. We were first on the moon. We win. It's like we just declared that's what wins. We
And
won the space race.
If you could be the first person on Mars and you would survive the whole thing, you'd get back to Earth safely, but it took 10 years of your life, would you do it?
Yes.
Yeah,
would.
absolutely.
Set foot on a different planet? Yeah.
You would take 10 years out of your life.
To set foot on a
Absolutely.
different planet? Absolutely.
Sure.
I would.
I mean, look at Neil Armstrong. He went to the moon. That
absolutely-
took like a month. So
I got you. I feel you.
he's got no regrets. Think what he could have done with that month. Could have built a deck.
You would
You could have built a moon.
could have built the moon.
You spit all over my hand, you asshole.
Sorry.
Did you see will.i.am premiered a song on Mars? The very first the very first song ever to get its premiere on Mars. They
Why did you qualify for the rap song?
Did the Curiosity rover kill itself?
Yeah, it just drove off.
It imploded. The robot has more emotion than you.
Oh man, the Curiosity thing, that is such a badass. Everything going on with that is so cool. And they had a panel.
They
at
had a
PAX.
panel at PAX. The NASA JPL.
That is so cool.
Scientists had a panel
I
there.
still don't understand how it's different to all the other ones.
It's huge. It's much
Yeah,
bigger.
it's huge. They can do a lot more with this one than they could with anything else. Like the technology in this thing.
I
is
didn't
insane.
realize how they landed that thing though. That was impressive.
fucking cool,
They
right?
had a sky crane.
Yeah,
It's like got boosters and then parachutes, and then a thing detaches and it lowers itself on wires or something.
yeah, and then
From the sky. It's
and
not
then,
anchored to
and then
anything.
the crane, then like veers off and crashes somewhere else. It doesn't hit-
detaches and then goes crash itself. It's fucking
It's
cool.
like there's an engineer who spent years developing that,
Yeah.
working on that, spent so much money on it. You're like, yeah, it worked. Now it's gonna go crash. Yay!
Well, now it's the thing. It was like because at one point they had 7 minutes, right, where they just lost contact with the Curiosity when it was going to land, and so it was like, all right, and it's gone. Whew. And just they had to wait for 7 minutes for that thing, and it's like,
tense.
what's gonna happen? And then when it's like I think they said we're home safe on Mars. It was like everyone exploded.
I can only imagine.
So
There's
then,
that great gif of that one guy who was like throwing his arms up in the air.
Yeah.
So what is the well? How do you communicate with someone on Mars?
Wi-Fi.
How do you think?
Bluetooth. Just yell fucking loud. That's it. No, it's just I don't know, radio, I guess.
Yeah.
Send radio waves.
But
Yeah.
what's the delay on that? How fast is radio? Speed of
we
light?
actually have a guy who's an aerospace engineer who helps out around here. He came to the barbecue yesterday. David, he is also helping out with some of the immersion gags. that we're
Not to be
doing.
confused with Dave.
Not to be confused with Dave. This is David. So he was telling me that it's 10 minutes round trip. So 5 minutes to relay the message and 5
And is
minutes to
that the
get
speed
it
of
back.
light?
No, I don't know.
Yes, that's the speed of light.
Are we 5 minutes
No,
from Mars from
dumbass.
the speed of
Why
light?
isn't that the speed
We
of
can't
light?
transfer anything at the
I
speed
think
of
we're
light.
8 minutes away from
We're 9 minutes from the sun, right?
So I would think
Eight
it's not
minutes
quite as fast.
is light from the sun.
Is it 8? Why do I think 9? Maybe it's 93 million miles. So how far?
Yeah, that's what it is.
It is 93 million
No,
miles
I'm
from the sun.
saying,
Oh.
making your excuse. Oh, I was thinking of the distance.
I know. I was trying to figure out how I got it wrong. Anyway, there's something I also want to talk about though for astronomy stuff. Do you familiar with the concept?
Do you familiar?
Are you familiar, Gavin, with the concept that the moon landing is fake? That There's some people who believe that that's a conspiracy.
But when you actually get a telescope and look at the moon and see the stuff that's on the moon, then that kind of busts that, doesn't it?
Can you see the stuff on the moon?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can with a telescope, but
Not
they're-
with a telescope, with the observatories. You can.
they have left on the moon where Tranquility Base was. They left reflectors, and those reflectors are pointed back where you can actually shoot a laser at the moon and it will reflect back off the.
Shut the fuck
How do
I
you see that?
swear to God, because no, I swear to God, it's
Do
a
you
test
actually
you
get
can
to
do.
witness the speed of light there?
You can't.
Or is it instant?
You can't see it, but basically these things like collect your reflected laser off them. I swear to God, it's
I've never
true.
heard of that.
It's 100% true.
Reflectors on the moon return.
you know what-
Fuck
something
you
on the-
guys.
No,
told
I believe you. I
Yeah.
said I'd never heard of it.
I was
Yeah.
always amazed at the fact that we have perfect solar eclipses. The fact that,
It's a crazy distance. It's a crazy coincidence.
yeah, it's a coincidence
that,
that
the distance from us to the moon covers
like,
that.
The
Yeah.
sun is like 400 times bigger than the moon. But it's also,
It's probably bigger than that.
no, it's like around 400 times. But it's also,
We're gonna get it wrong no matter what.
it's also
A
about,
lot more than that.
it's also
welcome,
about
by the way,
400
welcome to the
times.
science portion of our podcast.
So it's 400 times bigger than the moon, but it's also about 400 times further away than the moon is to us.
How big is
So-
the moon compared to Earth? There's no way that the sun's only 400 times bigger than the sun.
Much bigger.
No, it isn't.
Fortunately
And then,
smaller.
so it actually gets to the point where they look the exact same size, and they also go along the exact same path. And
Everything goes along
the
the
fact
same
that we
path,
get a
though.
total solar eclipse is an immense coincidence, and I don't think that happens in the solar system anywhere else, does it? With their moons,
probably not.
You always get like a giant moon behind a tiny sun, or
Or
like
vice versa.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Answer. Actually, the sun's diameter is approximately 400 times larger than the
Wow.
moon.
God damn it.
Wow.
Why is that so crazy?
Yeah, you got it exactly right.
No, you said the moon is 4 times big. That's diameter, so that's one thing. There are a lot more.
no,
No,
he got
no,
it right.
no.
He got it right.
No,
For
I'm not giving
For
credit
the
for that.
context we're
400
talking
times-
about, he's right.
400
Okay.
times is overall, like every dimension, isn't it?
Okay.
That's right.
Not-
He
not volume, but-
once again, another excellent point. If he was talking about radius, 400 times would still be 400 times the radius. You were exactly right.
So in short, Jack, you suck.
No.
Suck
no.
my
So
nuts.
we didn't ever.
Suck it, Jack.
Let's talk about Breaking
We
Bad.
never talk about Breaking Bad.
Jesus Christ. Okay, did you watch it?
Yeah.
Okay, that was
Wait, before we get off astronomy, I want to say something real quick. So you see, the Hubble telescope always returns these photos of these incredible nebula. They're just
Yeah.
gorgeous and all stuff. Those are fake.
Yeah.
Those
They
pho-
color.
Well, they're not color, are they? It's black and white.
Well, yeah, and they're all like radiographs, and then
Yeah.
but
there
the
is
NASA
some-
artists color these
Really?
things, all these
Yeah.
photos that we see.
I had no idea.
How do they determine what's moving towards? Because you can tell when something's moving away from Earth
Yeah.
when it's red shifted, and if it's moving close to Earth, it's like the light that it gives
Right.
off is red, and if it's moving towards Earth, it gives a blue light.
I-
So they
Yes.
must be able to see the color.
No idea what you're talking
No,
about.
it's-
So-
that's correct. It's called red shift and blue shift when
Yeah.
things are moving so fast that the light gets almost bent, I guess, because of the great speed. So when something's moving away from you, it appears to have a reddish tint,
Yeah, it's
but
this
it's coming towards you,
similar
it's blue.
equivalent to when sound is moving towards you and goes away, like the pitch drops.
The Doppler
It's-
effect.
Yeah, the Doppler effect. It's kind of like that, but with
Okay,
light.
is the celestial body moving away from us, or the light is moving away from us?
Well, both.
Well, no, because we couldn't see light that's moving away from us. We don't see light from the
Well, the
backside
source
of the
is
sun.
getting further away.
Okay, I see. So the body itself is moving
Right.
away. Okay.
Well, light always moves at the same speed.
Yes, Gavin, but if light, we don't see the light from the backside of the sun coming around the top. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
it reflects off other things behind it.
Well, that you see, but you don't see like a bright light behind us, like
There's not a giant mirror there.
right.
So Breaking Bad. I got home from the airport, set my stuff down, and immediately watched Breaking Bad.
That was a good choice.
That was the first thing I did.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
So they ended the
with-
first half of the
Are you actually going
fifth
to do spoilers
season.
here?
No spoilers. There will be no spoilers there. So there's 16 episodes in season 5, and they just wrapped up the first half. They wrapped up the first 8 episodes, and I legitimately squealed when the episode was over. I was like, oh god! And then that was it. So
I will say that, including this last episode and probably the last 10 minutes of the previous episode, that is the fastest moving 50 minutes of television that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I was commenting to Bernie this morning that if it had been The Sopranos, they needed to kill or they needed to do whatever they did. Sorry, oops. that would have been like a season and a half.
yeah.
Right.
And then Bertie said, yeah, then they wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, they would have said, "Oh, whatever happened to so and so or something."
But I mean, it says something about the show that there was a scene in this last episode where I was waiting for something to happen, and I felt my body just tense up because I knew something was going to happen. I absolutely knew something was going to happen.
Yep.
And like, it says so much about a show that they can do that to you, and like they manipulate you in such a way that like there's they know you're waiting for that, and it's just like, no, we're not going to give it to you. We're going to mess with you, and it's just like. Oh,
What
man.
scene are you talking about? The knock on the door
No,
scene?
he's talking about the very end.
I'm talking about the second to last scene.
I think I know the scene you're talking about. It's the knock on the door.
No,
No.
no.
It's at
Okay.
the very end where they're hanging out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's just like
Yeah,
okay,
like, which way is this gonna go?
Exactly. Like I was like looking at every part of the frame, like watching every person. Like, okay, that person's a little too close to the. It's like something's gonna happen here, very very bad. And it's just like, oh, but we should have like a 30-minute spoiler cast.
Why
Where
don't we do it? We
Maybe
keep talking about it.
in
Why don't-
anticipation of the new season, maybe, or before we can visit some
I
of the old
say
stuff.
we do it like right now, like record it now,
I totally agree with him. Why
Ju-
don't we stop after this? We'll do a 30-minute spoiler cast right after this.
where we talk about we just talk about Breaking Bad, because I mean right now it's in all of our heads and we have a bunch of good ideas about what's gonna happen.
We talked about doing this with Dark Knight, and everyone's like, "No, we should wait." I'm like, "We all just saw it. We recorded the spoiler cast when we saw
No,
it."
we all agreed. We just didn't do it.
Yeah, 'cause
you're
Jack was the one who disagreed.
Do you know
Well,
what,
'cause
Jack?
I wanna do Breaking Bad, and we
I'm
never did
with
Breaking
you.
Bad.
Let's me and you do it. If Gus doesn't want to be part of it,
I'll take part.
get out of here.
I would say we get Joel in too
How do
if
we
you've
just-
seen it, but I don't know if you've seen it.
No, that guy's a fucking grump.
Yeah, we're not.
How are we going to distribute? How are we going to distribute it? Just tack it on to the end of this podcast?
Or can we do it as a separate podcast?
We can just do it off the site, not off iTunes, where we are featured as the top gaming podcast according to iTunes.
Did you
listeners.
understand the end of Dark Knight Rises?
I understand pretty much everything that I see. Just so you know.
What do you-
What
is there not to understand?
It was pretty confusing, but what tripped you up?
It didn't trip me up, but just someone.
Spoiler alert, by the way.
I just didn't know how he survived, and then someone told me. I was like, "Oh, that's clever."
Well, they said
They said
he fixed the autopilot.
Yeah, I just missed that, and it was very subtly said. It's not like
Not really. it was
It was
Lucius walked up to it and he's like, "Oh, like the autopilot's
yeah, but
broken."
you had to
and he was
remember
like,
that he said that.
They brought it up like 3 times
Yeah.
during the movie.
there was
really?
no subtlety there.
That was subtle to me. I
You
missed
It-
didn't
it-
know that he said it.
If anything, I thought they repeated it too much. I was
Yeah.
getting annoyed because I was like, okay, he's obviously going to fix the autopilot,
Oh,
and that's
yeah,
going
I
to be something at the end.
No, I didn't
Even
get
like
it.
even
It's
as
funny
he,
because that Dave.
even as he was flying off, even as he was flying off there, Dean is like, "Sorry, autopilot's broken," and then he takes off, and so yeah, come on, they give it to you right there.
All right.
It was
Cool.
a good Batman impression, by the way.
Thank you.
Got your bait. Where's my?
I saw Batman at PAX.
Well, we saw Banes all over, especially at Fan Expo, because Fan Expo is more of a Comic Con, so there's a lot more cosplay and stuff. Every time a Bane walked by, I asked permission to die, and like half of them just had no idea what the fuck I was talking about. What I was talking about.
I don't have a good Bane muffle thing here. Miles and I were having so much fun doing Bane on the last live cast that we did. It was a blast. During the gummy bear thing, we were
Yeah.
doing our Bane. We had our cups.
You looking for your cup?
Yeah, you need a glass to do it anyway. So,
But yeah, okay, so we'll do a spoiler cast for Breaking Bad. I'm cool with right after this. Like I got my work done today.
Do you want to end this and do it?
I
it's
never
your-
want
it's
to
your
end the
call.
podcast.
Yeah.
Let me look at my notes, see if there's anything else we want to
All
talk
right. Well,
about.
let's
okay.
start wrapping this up then.
Gus,
What notes do you have, Bernie?
What else at PAX did you see, Gus?
I saw the people playing Halo 4. You can shoot a Magnum and hold a flag now. We didn't mention that.
Oh yeah.
What the fuck are you kicking me for?
Sorry, didn't mean to.
What else did I see? I saw the AC3 booth, but I didn't actually see what they were showing.
Yeah. Assassin's Creed does look great though. Borderlands 2 looks awesome. It's coming out soon. Tomb
I
Raider.
saw PlanetSide 2 was there.
Yeah, PlanetSide 2 looks awesome.
What's the story of Planet Side
I
2?
didn't get a chance to play it. I walked by it like a bunch of times. I didn't get to really sit down with it.
They had some
Alright.
good cosplay girls.
I either want to play Firefall or Planet Side 2 between now and the time that Halo 4 comes out.
Firefall's pretty fun.
Well,
Do you have a beta code?
Yeah.
we have friends at PlanetSide too. I could contact people there.
I would love to get a beta code for either Planet Side 2 or for
Oh,
Firefall.
we gotta talk about Trouble in Terrorist Town.
Oh yeah. So Nanners told us about this.
Yes, we had drinks with Nanners one night, and we were talking about unconventional games. First, I'm gonna talk about Spy Party.
Okay.
So you were talking about unconventional games, and he was talking about this game called Spy Party. It's in beta. You can go to like spyparty.com, I think, where there's 2 players. One is a player that's like at a party in a group of or in a room filled with AI characters.
I already like this.
And he's a spy, and as a spy, you have to accomplish like 5 different tasks. The other player is a sniper who sits outside the party trying to figure out which player in the party or which character in the party is the human, and he has to shoot the human and only kill the human. So like the spy at the party has to go and like inspect a statue, pass some information with someone, and do all these tasks while the sniper's watching, trying to figure out which in this crowd is the human and kill that one.
Yeah.
So it's like deception, trying to throw
It's 1v1.
each other off, and you have like 5 minutes to accomplish this.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That
But
sounds
the
really cool.
AI will do the same kind of stuff. Like if you have to go and look at a vase, the AI will also just pick up that vase and look at it too. So it's not just like if you spot the one person doing it, that's it. You know, it's cool. It's really
It's
cool.
really tense.
Yeah.
But anyway, so C9ers was talking about that game. He also mentioned this game type for Gary's mod called Trouble in Terrorist Town, where essentially everyone, you know, it's like everyone's like a terrorist from Counter-Strike, and a very small number of people on the team are traitors. And traitors can identify who other traitors are, but the innocents don't know who the traitors are. So the innocents who have to try to figure out who a traitor is and kill them, and the traitors have to kill all of the innocents. So
It's kind of like that Mafia game that people used to play on forums.
Mafia Wars.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
No, not that.
No,
well,
not
it's
Mafia
like
Wars.
like
I
some
understand.
private messages and stuff.
Yeah.
So then, so it's just, he said it's just really tense where everyone's like talking on Skype and you're trying to figure out, and then like at the end it's just like it's like a twist in a movie where it's like, you know, your buddy you think was your friend all along turns out to be the traitor, and like he murders you, and it's like, no, I thought I trusted you.
And he was saying like there's like one room you can go, which like will verify whether or not someone's an innocent or a traitor. And so it's like the light's green or red. So it'd be like, okay, no, you go first. No, fuck you, you go first.
So why would anyone go in that room?
Well, no, that's the thing. Is like so like someone will go in and like hit the light screen, like someone else go in and hit the light screen, like okay, now it's your turn. Start like gunning down everyone.
So how long does a game of that take?
I have no
I
idea.
don't know, but it sounded fun. It sounds like the kind of game you have to be like, you have to play with friends and like be on Skype.
That
or
sounds like it'd be
some
a
kind
fun,
of voice chat.
fun let's
It'd be
play.
a lot of fun. Let's play. But I think if we had like a lot of people and like 8 people in it, it'd be really cool.
Yeah.
And record just like 4 of us.
Yeah, there's enough of us that work.
You know what I was thinking about for a let's play that we should do? We should play Griffball. Have 4 of us be on a team for
do it
Griffball
when
and go
Halo
play
4 comes
Griffball.
out.
That'd be fun.
We're gonna do a
We're original Griffball team.
we're gonna do a LAN party with the Guardians from RTX here at the studio when
yeah?
Halo 4 comes out. So
Yeah, cool.
Griffball will be a great thing to play on that
I'm
team.
in. I'll play.
Nice.
Been a long time since we did like a good old fashioned LAN party.
All right, well let's wrap up so we can do our break bad.
Where are we gonna go to lunch?
What are you talking about? I had gummy bears.
Man.
I know I had like 5 or 6 handfuls.
I
there
could go for
trying
some
to get a
barbecue. I haven't had like Rudy's, like some good barbecue in a while.
All right,
We should do that.
Let's go do it.
Bye.
Okay, now this is the start of the Breaking Bad spoiler podcast.
Mega spoiler.
If you're interested in watching the show from the beginning or getting caught up, do not listen to this. We'll be heavily discussing it. You've been warned. This is your final warning.
And if you haven't watched the show, seriously, watch the show and then come back and listen to this. Because, I mean, watch all 5 seasons or all 4.5 seasons. Come back and then listen to this.
Okay, so season 5 just wrapped up Sunday night, a couple nights ago.
Yes.
And I think in the podcast we just finished recording, you were talking about the tenth scene. You're talking about the pool scene.
I was talking about the pool scene because I mean, like, you're sitting there this whole episode and, like, you know, God, that's that great scene with the pile of money, where Skylar's just like, how much more do you need? You know, it's like this is, you know, that giant mound of cash. And then, you know, so finally Walt kind of was like, all right, I'm out. I'm done. Like, this is it. I've accomplished my goal of being able to take care of my family forever.
I don't understand why he did that, though. Didn't he just, in the other episode, say he's in the empire building
Yeah.
business? So why is he out now?
Well, I think it was one of the things where it's like, you know, the death of Mike, like shooting Mike, rattled him a lot. I mean, because he shot Mike in cold blood. Like he even said, like, I could have gotten the list from Lydia, and it kind of, I think that really kind of like, you know, he at that point was realizing how much of a monster he was becoming. Like,
He's Eisenberg.
yeah, that was Heisenberg. And like, but I mean, Heisenberg shot Mike, but then Walt came out and talked to Mike. You know what I mean? Like, there's definitely that weird sort of, you know, duality of the character.
Yeah, I mean, one of the first episodes of this season, they had him get that hat back.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was a big deal.
Well, that was when because they had the Pontiac Aztec. That was a great episode. That was the Rian Johnson episode with what was the name of that dubstep song? Like Crossfire, whatever the name of. Anyway,
Someone on the Breaking Bad subreddit talked about how this episode started with the fly and how, you know, Walter stares at it and then lets it go. Talking about how the last time he started the fly, like, I guess his sense of perfection and his attention to details forced him to chase the fly down and get rid of it. And he was a much tighter then. And now he doesn't have that same attention to detail, and that's what the fly is. And he lets it get away, just like he leaves the fucking Leaves of Grass book on his goddamn toilet. If you're gonna keep that, why would you just tear the fucking page out? Like, why would you even keep that at all?
Yeah.
It just goes to show that there's so many things to keep up with. Like, even when Skylar said, I don't know how much money this is.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't know. She talked about weighing it, but she's like, I just can't even count it anymore. I can't spend it. I certainly can't launder it. It's just, this is it.
It would take 100 car washes, 100 years to do this or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that's goddamn, that's such a great thing. And then we had that last bit at the end because it's like, and like Walt and Hank were talking about like chemistry, about they were talking about like making coffee or something, and then Marie and Skyler were saying something.
beer, I think.
Beer, yeah. And then Marie and Skyler were talking about something, and it's like that, you know, it's Walt Jr. pushing Holly around. It's like someone's about to get shot, like because at that point it sounds like, you know, Walt was out, like he checked out and he was done. And
Well, the real tell was when Skyler smiled at him. You're like, uh-oh, now everything's going to fall apart.
yeah. But then it's like, and then Hank, even like Hank going, I was like, Hank's going to find something on a counter. And then it's like, he sits down on the toilet and it's like, sure enough, Hank just solved the biggest case of his career.
So, does that house not have another fucking bathroom? It's like, why did he go into the master bedroom bathroom that's only accessible when going through the master bedroom?
That's
They've
true.
actually never shown another bathroom. But, like, where does Walt Jr. go? Like, do they all share that one bathroom? Does he have to go through there?
I don't know. I don't know the geography of that house. So you got to figure like the walkway, like, so you walk down the hallway and Junior's room's on the right, and then the bedroom's on the end.
But there's also the nursery.
The nursery's
On the right.
on the right, and then on the left is the
closet with the water heater.
the water heater with the hole.
So you think there'd be another bathroom there? Because, well, then I guess the master bedroom bathroom backs into there.
Look, it's got established for narrative brevity. You know, oh,
Yeah.
can I use the bathroom in your room? Sure. You know, no, just use the bathroom.
But God,
He's dropping a deuce too. He probably went as far away in the house as possible.
that is
Also,
true.
that bathroom door is like, it's slatted. It's like, that's so inefficient. Like, you're not containing anything in there, man.
I like the way you think, Gus. That's funny.
I've thought about this extensively.
But I mean, like, it's you knew this was going to happen at some point, and it still caught me out of you know, completely off guard. Like, I knew at some point Hank was going to put things together. Honestly, at this point, I thought Hank may have been suspecting Walt.
Yeah, that was a popular theory.
Yeah, I mean, they've been hinting at stuff and for a long time. I mean, and, you know, even like that conversation. The conversation where Walt was talking about Heisenberg at the dinner table, and then like they're like, oh, we caught him, and then, you know, Walt's like, I don't think you got your guy. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing, Walt? And
Yeah.
but goddamn, it was a nice little touch how they threw the audio in from the old conversation.
Oh yeah, that's
You know.
always great to have a flashback that leads up to a realization. That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
The look on his face, like when he looks down and the camera's looking at him, and he like has that slow look up. And
Yeah.
He's got that awful dread on his face.
Well, I mean, think about this too. It's like, hey, this has been right under Hank's nose the whole time, and even so, like, if Walt confronts Hank in the manner that Walt confronted Skyler, because remember, Skyler's like, I could tell everyone about this, and he's like, well, you're just as guilty as I am, and like she rattled off some excuses, and he was able to just burn every single one of them. I mean, I can see him trying to do that with Hank, but I don't think he could pull it
No,
off.
not at all.
Do you? I mean, fuck. How is this gonna? Like, I have no idea how this is gonna turn out, man. Like, I can't imagine Hank approaching Walt.
Well,
I mean, not right away. Not right away. I mean, he still even with that, he still needs some sort of proof. Like,
What is the next season going to be about? I
The
it's-
next half?
Was it 12 episodes? then?
eight episodes.
Well, I mean, so you're gonna have Jesse has to find out about Mike. That's probably gonna be an arc.
They got to deal with that Madrigal girl. That's
Lydia.
She drives me crazy.
I assume Hank's gonna continue to try to pretend like everything's okay with Walt while he sets up surveillance and works on things on the back end to try to get proof.
yeah. And at this point, Walt is out, so theoretically, he's going to be lax about things and might let stuff slip.
Also, how does Hank build a case? Because he went against the director and was investigating the case after the director said, cut this out.
Yeah.
And then all those 9 guys died.
10 guys.
No,
They didn't show the lawyer.
They didn't show the lawyer.
No,
getting killed.
the lawyer was on the phone, wasn't he?
No, that was an inmate. He was in an orange jumpsuit.
Oh, I thought that was the lawyer. I thought one of the first guys gets, like, the guy got stabbed multiple times in the chest. I thought that was the lawyer.
You're talking about every guy except the one who got burned.
My God.
Oh,
That
dude.
was so brutal.
Here's what I learned from watching this last episode of Breaking Bad. I never want to be killed in prison. Like, ever.
Whenever I heard about people getting stabbed in prison, I assumed it's like, one stab. Holy shit, like the 4 dudes or whatever just like stabbing his face. They had double fisted. Oh my god. Like, oh.
No, they killed everyone. Even the lawyer. They're all dead.
I saw screenshots of compilations of all the murders, and there's only 9 of them.
Okay, but they're all dead. Like, come on. Like, there's no way
They
they'd
couldn't
let
have shown
one
the
slip.
10?
Well, listen, if they came back and said the lawyer was dead, I'd be totally fine with that. Because they got
Yeah,
everyone.
but they didn't acknowledge it.
No, because if
he even said
if-
9 guys.
Yeah, he said 9 guys, but then then Lydia said no. There's
Oh,
10.
No, he's right. What are we thinking? Because the lawyer was in jail.
Yeah.
The lawyer would be in jail at that point because they caught him in the safety deposit room, so he would be in jail.
I was
Yeah.
thinking of the lawyer representing the guys, not the Okay, you're right. Yeah, that was him.
The one who turned on Mike.
You're right,
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
him at the phone.
Yeah. So all 10 guys are. Otherwise, that last guy would be in fucking safety protection. Like, they would have locked him down, I imagine.
It was awesome how he insisted it all had to be done in 1 minute.
2 minutes.
They're like, oh, we can't do it.
2 minutes.
But they did it in 1, didn't they?
No, 2.
No, it's 2 minutes.
Because
Okay.
the clock rounded. God,
That,
that was
whole
such,
sequence with the music was kind of creepy, and you just standing there.
By the way, how long did it take him to finally use the song "Crystal Blue
I
Persuasion"?
know. my wife was like, "What is this song?" I was like, "Have you never heard this?" She's like, "No, this is perfect. Why have they never used it before?"
Why isn't it the theme song for the show? It's like when they use it, it's like there's some guy in the room going, "We gotta use it this week." And like, Bill, calm down. It's coming.
Oh, that song was Bonfire. That was the Dubstep song. But anyway, fuck, this is such a great season though. It's again like last season, it felt like this slow build up to like the final 3 episodes where Gus gets his face blown off, and like the whole thing with the other cartel leader where they poison him and everything just like led up to that and was like, oh my god. And this season similar to that, where it started slow, but it was just putting everything in place.
season.
It's only half a season,
Yeah.
8 episodes, and this is. Goddamn! This is some of the best writing, and like even the cinematography. This last episode, did you see all of
the transition
Yeah,
stuff?
all the transition stuff. Like when he said, let's get to work. What I mean, lean down and pop back up, and he was in in his outfit. But there was a lot of like mirrored illusions, where like the scene on the CAT scan.
Yeah.
Like someone actually, there's an animated GIF on Reddit where they took that. That's from I think the pilots actually.
it is.
And they mirrored. It was like almost an identical shot. I mean, like they lined it up damn near
There were
perfectly.
a lot of them. There were a lot of references too, like the painting he was staring at.
The
Yeah.
Fly.
The Fly.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Fly.
Do
It
you
was
remember the whole episode where they spent trying to find the fly?
Yeah, it was tons of callbacks to past episodes.
And
Yeah.
then they had that really, really awesome moment between Walt and Jesse when they basically were saying goodbye and reminiscing.
Yeah.
That was incredible to me. That relationship is so complex.
There was a funny image that was captioned on Reddit where someone just captioned Jesse like hiding the bong, and they just wrote, "Thinks Walt is trying to kill him, still hides the bong anyway."
Yeah. No, like that look on Jesse's face when he looks out the window and he kind of like his eyes sink in and he walks towards the camera away from the front door and then he walks back and it's like, what the fuck was that? Like, okay. And then at the very, very end, he gets those bags of cash. So he's like shaking, opening up the bag. Cause like at this point, he knows Walt could just straight up murder him.
What do you think he gave him in the bags?
$5 million.
Do you think that's Walt, right? He just gave him a
Right.
straight $5
That's
million.
what I assume.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, then he pulls out the gun. It's like, oh, fuck, he was getting the gun. Like, that's exactly what he was doing. He was walking off to go get his gun for fear that Mr. White's about to murder him.
Mr.
It's like-
White.
Yeah. But-
Well, yeah, he said, "I'm the one who knocks."
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
And
And
it's-
when every time Walt knocks on a door, it makes me nervous.
yeah. But I mean, like, that right there, that shows whatever little shred of humanity is left in Walt. I mean, that's, Jesse's been around for the whole thing. Like, I don't think Walt could ever do anything bad to Jesse. Like, I don't, or at least directly harm Jesse. Like he's done plenty of stuff around him, but I mean, I can't imagine him, holding a gun to Jesse or doing anything to him.
I can.
Who do you think, assuming Walt's going to die next season or the end of the season, which is one path this could go, who do you think would be more likely to kill Walt? Would it be Jesse or would it be Hank?
Between the two of those, I think Hank, out of anger and rage. I think that Walt's gonna kill himself
Really?
because they keep showing that fucking ricin tablet and showing how it's like in the bedroom right behind that wall.
They did
socket.
bring that ricin tablet back.
And they show it so much. It's like he's going to take it. That's the ultimate end. Like he built it, he created it to kill someone or have an ace in the hole, and that's his ultimate ace in the hole. His escape is to die and to kill himself.
That would be interesting. Yeah, I never thought about that. And like Ricin doesn't show up as it's tough to show that someone got poisoned, right?
right. I think they said in the show that you had to like run special tests looking for it.
Yeah. So theoretically, he could kill himself and maybe get insurance or whatever. Like it makes it seem like like something natural causes. Because I mean, like the very first scene of the season was the he has a full head of hair, but he's coughing in the bathroom with that giant fucking gun, and it's like okay, we are what 9 months away from that now, I guess, or no?
Oh, God.
Or.
I don't remember. I don't know
8
when
months.
it starts.
8 months away in the show timeline because 3 months passed between Jesse quitting and the Jesse leaving and then him and Todd working together.
I forget at the beginning of this season when he's eating the breakfast. What number doesn't he? Spell out
52.
Oh, I thought he spelled out 51.
No, 51.
Oh, okay.
51 was the birthday they had this year
Right.
where Skylar walked into the pool. That was 51, and then 52 was the beginning of this last episode. So somewhere in this next, he's got 8 months in the show's timeline to get to that point. So you got to figure he's going to start growing hair again, or they're going to tell him like, "Oh, your cancer's gone," because he's or I guess he's shaving his head.
Cancer's gonna get him.
You don't think so?
I think cancer's gonna get him.
Oh, really?
That's what I think is gonna happen.
But what the fuck was that gun? Like, what
Or
is?
Skylar could kill him.
Yeah, I'm rewatching everything right now. I'm in the middle of season 3, so I can't wait to rewatch the season that just passed.
Yeah.
And
Well, someone made a point that if you were to watch one episode a week between like now, like on Sundays or whatever when it would normally air, if you watched one episode a week, like from season 1, episode 1, you would basically be able to catch up to where we're going to end up next season. Like exactly.
I would say this is one of the shows. It's impossible to watch one a week.
Yeah.
I think I first got it on Netflix on DVD before I canceled my DVD subscription, and I was just on a whim, just for the hell of it. And I was like, holy shit, cancel everything else in my queue. This is all I want.
Yeah, it's a great show, man. It's a really great show.
But I mean, goddamn, like
Jesse will live.
Jesse's gonna live.
Jesse's got to get away.
Jesse and fucking Holly are like the only untainted characters on that show, really.
Yeah.
I mean, even Walt Jr. got busted trying to buy alcohol. I mean,
You think Jesse's untainted? He fucking shot Gale in the face.
maybe not untainted, but like pure of heart. Would that be too far? I mean, like Jesse, like he was a kid essentially when he met Walt.
It's hard to imagine like Jesse in Walt's class. Like go back that far. Because that's what it was,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, he was a student.
He was a student of Walt's at one point. It's like that'd be like the weirdest flashback ever.
Well, I mean, there were allusions this episode too when Walt was talking with Lydia, and she said we're going to make a lot of money together, that's the same line that Tuco threw out at the end of season 1. But yeah, like even there was that weird sort of almost sexual tension between the two of them that he had with the chick from Grey Matter.
Yeah.
and like there was a lot of
What's
stuff.
funny is like I was watching that cafe scene between the two of them with my wife, and my wife was like, "Oh my god, he's totally gonna have an affair with her. They're gonna do." I was like, "No, he wants to kill her." And then she walks off, and he's got the rights. I was like, "See, what are you talking about?"
I don't know, but she was pretty hot in this episode. I gotta say, something about like a woman who's in charge like that is pretty hot.
I feel like there was one like little detail I noticed about her when she's in the cafe. You know, I like she's got her hands. She's like they're around the coffee cup. That she takes the time to paint her nails, but they're all really short. Like she's constantly chewing them. Huh. Like it was like one of those weird things where it's like obviously she's a very nervous character, but she still wants to put on this facade. It's like that tiny little detail.
And I gotta say too, where is that coffee shop? Like, was that in Texas or in Albuquerque?
I think it's Albuquerque.
So she flew out there to meet with Walt?
I assume so.
Huh. Because that's one weird thing they really don't bring up a whole lot.
Well,
but it's
I think Walt said you traveled all this way or something when they met.
But yeah, because she's based in Texas, right? Like,
Houston.
Yeah, and so, have to go back and forth. But man,
she just rides a train.
the meth train takes it over. Oh, God, there have been so many great episodes this season. Fucking Todd, that weird character that you knew something was up with him when he spoke when he wasn't supposed to be talking. And it's like, oh, something's on with this guy.
Yeah.
And then he's just a fucking beast, man. Like, he has no heart at all.
I mean, he just wants to work or make money. I don't know what I guess he just wants to, I don't know, be a criminal.
I guess so, man. But it's
like his uncle and that whole crew was like, it was really much more above and beyond what I was expecting, like with all the fucking Nazi tattoos.
The swastikas and SS and everything like that. It was, that was pretty intense. It reminded me a lot of like Oz. I don't know if you ever watched that show on HBO. But
I never did watch that show.
It's a great show.
And the dude from Portal 2,
Yeah, J.K. Simmons.
He's like a Nazi butch queen, right? Or
Yeah,
something like that?
I want to say queen, but he's like the kingpin
Sister?
Nazi.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And Christopher Maloney's on that show. It's such a great fucking show. That's a good show for you to catch up on now, because the whole
I'll
thing's
catch up on us. Sorry, Gus.
Someone's printing.
I
in here.
printed something. Sorry, that's me.
It better be a Breaking Bad spoiler, otherwise we're gonna have some words. I'm gonna hire some dudes to pound some knives
all
on
right.
you.
So we've got 8 episodes left.
Okay, 3 people that you want to die before the end of the series.
Skylar.
So what?
Skylar.
Really?
I fucking hate her. Anytime she's on screen, I'm like, this fucking bitch.
You know, I hated her a lot, and I've grown not respect for her, but I feel for her now. Like after all this shit's gone down, like she's been put through hell.
That scene earlier in this season when she's like, we're getting the kids out of the house, and he's like, what's your plan? And
Yeah.
she's like saying,
Yeah.
I'll just do this. He goes, they won't work as this. What's your plan?
Yeah.
Because I don't know. Like that was a great scene.
Why doesn't she just leave? Does she need a plan?
I
I
don't
think
know.
it's like a lot of people. It's like when it's like how many fucking times did they make about $500,000 each and then lose it immediately?
Yeah,
That
yeah.
happened like 6 times in the series,
Yeah.
and now it's like finally okay. Now we're making the money. See, it finally kicked in. They just didn't stop. You know.
Yeah.
And how much money do you think was in that stack?
The one in the shed.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that?
Electricians are here working on.
I'm gonna say 8 figures. Like more than 10 million.
More than 10 million?
Oh yeah, easy. I think because I mean, think about.
I
if
guess
you
that
gave
bag was
Jesse
50
$5
or
million
5, yeah.
in 2 duffel bags, and
Yeah.
you draw that out. It's got to be like 500 million or something.
Oh, you think it's 500 million? I was just saying
Whoa.
like 25 million.
I'd say maybe 50.
I mean, she takes more money than we could spend in 10 lifetimes.
Well, okay, someone needs to look at a still image of that and figure out the width and height of those stacks.
The
And then,
nominations, though.
well,
But
okay.
you can do a range if it's
Yeah.
all ones or if it's all hundreds.
Well, no, it was either 20s or 50s is what it was. But like you could see the 20s and 50s.
there were
but
hundreds too, weren't there?
were there?
I think there were.
Okay.
Don't
Well,
fuck-
then you could do like, okay, theoretically, if they're all hundreds, theoretically, if they're all 50s, theoretically, if they're all 20s, and do some average out, I'm sure. Like, that would be the way to go. But, I mean, I don't know, 3 people I want to die. I kind of have a feeling like maybe Gomi's gonna die. Like for the longest time, I feel like there was a rumor, there was speculation that Gomi.
Who's Gomi?
Gomi is Hank's number 2.
Hank's partner.
The
Gomez.
yeah, the one who busted the lawyer and
And then that great face in the vault.
That was a great. It was like, hey.
But no, there was speculation that he may have been a Fring plant because apparently Fring had someone on the inside,
I always
right?
suspected that the former head of that office was a plant. The old guy.
He may have been, honestly.
Because he was the one who kept telling Hank to shut the investigation down and
Yeah.
it wasn't worth it. It's like,
Well, everyone was telling Hank to do that, you know. So, but Gomi, he was doing that a lot. Where he'd be like, okay, maybe we need to worry about this. Maybe we just move on. And like he kept pushing stuff like that. It was like, God damn, why is he trying to get Hank off this so much? And then I don't know.
yeah, I'm sure there are people that he had on the inside. But
I'm
then
praying to God, the God of television, that by the end of this series, Hank's wife gets killed. Dude, I can't.
You want Skylar to die that? What? Okay.
Skylar's awesome, but Hank's wife, I just can't stand.
I used to hate her more when she did the shoplifting and all that other shit. Now she's
Oh,
annoying,
but
but
that's
she's much
Marie.
more bearable.
That's Marie.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
Oh, you're talking. Oh,
Marie,
Hank's
right?
wife. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about Skylar. Yeah, Marie. Yeah, she could die.
If you don't like the color purple, I could see that.
Yeah, she just annoyed the hell out of me for so long. In that
she's
show.
she's like a weird eye thing too, where like
Yeah.
one of her eyes is kind of twitchy a little bit.
There was
and the chick from Magical, Lydia, she drives me insane.
I love her.
There was another great still image with a caption on Reddit from this week's episode when when Hank shows up and he's making the drinks and he asks Walt, rocks?
Oh yeah.
And they replace it with minerals.
No, okay. So someone also pointed out too. So Mike took his drinks with rocks, and like
Oh,
there,
yeah.
there was a scene where he basically told Mike, "Give me a chance alone with Fring, and I'll take care of him." And then Mike beat the shit out of him.
Right.
When he ordered his drink, Walt clearly said like, "No ice for me." And then and then Mike took his on the rocks, and now that Walt killed Mike, now suddenly he takes it like Mike used to take it.
And
so-
also the same thing with the sandwich from the guy he killed in the first season.
Oh, yeah.
When he took the plate down, the guy
Cut off the crust.
Took the crust, and now Walt does that as well.
yeah, so it's kind of some weird sort of absorbing thing.
Heisenberg, he just absorbs the
He's just so uncertain.
strength of anyone that he kills.
So Gian Esposito, is that the guy's name? The guy who's Fring?
Yeah.
He was nominated. He's got nominated for a supporting actor for a Emmy.
Oh, did Emmy nominations come out?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
These are in like 2 weeks.
yeah. Him,
Wow.
him and Aaron Paul both got nominated for supporting actor. Obviously, Cranston got nominated again for main actor. Cranston's won like 3 out of the 4 times he's been nominated. I think.
Yeah, I think so.
So. But yeah, I mean, like, yeah, Esposito, goddamn, like, Gus Fring was such an awesome fucking character.
You talking about Bryan Cranston winning the Emmy. I saw an interview with him like on, I don't know, Jimmy Kimmel or something a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And he comes out and it's Bryan Cranston. He's all goofy and, making jokes and laughing. I'm like, that's the same guy who plays fucking Walter White,
Yeah.
And then they show a clip and he's, badass and, it was so seasoned looking.
Have you seen the outtake reels from Breaking Bad?
I don't think so.
There's a great one from season 2 where it's at some point Walt walks out of like an office or something like that, and he has his box full of stuff, and it's like I think he only got fired or he quit being a teacher or whatever, and he had a box full of stuff, and poking out of the box was an Emmy. It's like walking to a car with an Emmy in the box. It's like that's funny.
I'd say just in general over the course of the series, I can't recall like a low point or anything like that where it got slow. Maybe some of the Gale stuff, but it's like then that was during the whole Gus Fring era.
The Gale stuff was so awesome, though.
Yeah. Where do you fall on the plane crash?
I just don't really get.
I felt like that was forgettable.
I think they've gotten away from it, which is great because I mean that was the most unrealistic thing of a show where a guy breaks bad and becomes a meth kingpin. The plane crashing above his house was the most unrealistic thing on the whole show.
Yeah, and I kind of didn't like how they built that whole season. Like, you didn't know what was going on. There was that toy in
Yeah,
the pool.
the
It was, like,
pink teddy bear in the
stuff's
pool.
burned. There's body bags. It's like, oh, he thinks it's gonna be a meth explosion or something's gonna happen. It's like, no, there was two planes collided above his house. And
Yeah, that was a little too convenient, little too like okay, that's. But I like Jane. You know, like do you think Jesse will ever find out about Jane or Mike?
I don't know how. I know he'll have to find out about Mike somehow. I don't know if Todd will tell him.
That's
or
true.
What.
Yeah, Todd knows. So.
But I don't know how he could ever find out about Jane. But I feel like maybe Walt would tell him.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, that would be serious. Jane, I assume, is the girlfriend who died.
Yeah.
Don't trust the bee in apartment 23.
Oh yeah, that's her, isn't it?
That's her.
Yeah, there was an ad for that show with Bryan Cranston in it too.
Was there?
Yeah, like her former roommate or whatever. It was weird.
What are you guys talking about?
There's
There's a show on ABC called Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23, and that actress who plays Jane is the lead in it.
Oh, okay.
yeah, but it's like B star or whatever.
I got you.
Yeah,
I hate it. I've never seen an episode. I just make fun of it
Yeah.
because it's a
That's
stupid
a
name.
good thing to do.
but God, like there's so like. I'm trying to think of like stuff they need to wrap up, but they've been really good about kind of catching loose ends and pulling them back in.
Yeah.
I mean-
I mean, the big thing is, I guess.
Okay, well-
fair enough. Jesse finding out about Mike, Jane,
The kid.
the
That
kid.
they poisoned the kid.
Oh yeah.
You know, and that was a scene this season that Aaron Paul should win an Emmy for alone, was when he found the cigarette.
Yeah.
And he's just just wailing and sobbing. You're
Yeah.
like, holy cow, that guy is chewing it up. It
Yeah,
was
dude,
great.
that was awesome. Fuck that guy. The beginning of the season where like Walt's sitting there, he's like thinking about stuff to clean up, and he's like, "Oh yeah," and he grabs the plant.
Which one?
Like right at the very beginning, I think that was the first episode where like it's Walt cleaning up the bomb shit in the house that they used to blow up. Salamanca, is that his name? Mr. Ding Ding.
Oh, yeah.
Like he picked up all the bomb
Oh,
shit,
right,
and then he
right.
like went back and got the plant and like hit all that stuff.
Right.
God, you know what else has been really great this season? Like in the little time he's had on screen is Bob Odenkirk.
Yeah.
With Saul.
I love the Saul Goodman character so much.
You heard the rumor floating that there might be a Saul Goodman spinoff.
Oh, come on.
No,
Really?
that'd be too much. Yeah.
That would be wonderful, though. I would love it. God, get Saul Goodman in. What's his name? What's the big black dude's name?
I don't remember.
Not Hugo.
Get that
Huel.
funny
Huel.
skull, like a cranio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one that's like wheezing when Mike is sitting in the
The
lobby.
best thing is when they introduce that character, when Jesse Pinkman says, "You don't want a criminal lawyer, you want a criminal lawyer." It's like, okay. And then after he won't take the bribe, and then Walt comes back to the car, Jesse Pinkman's like, "That guy wouldn't take a bribe. That guy right there." It's like, what'd you do to him?
Did you ever see Bob Odenkirk on Live Prude Girls?
No.
It's one of the people they got to interview, and it's
Really?
pretty damn funny. Dude.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'll watch that.
Dude, I would love to sit down with like one of the writers of the show and just be like, I love you, like give him a hug and be like, let's talk for hours and hours about these characters.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. I mean,
Even moments that, like on paper would seem like they would be completely lousy. They do a good job and they turn out well. Like the whole "Say My Name" bit.
oh
At the-
god,
I think it's a testament to the performances.
Yeah,
like the people are
definitely.
so powerful.
yeah,
Like Bryan Cranston saying "Say my name."
Yeah.
He goes, "I don't know who you are." He goes, "Yeah, you do."
yeah. I'm the man who killed Gus Fring.
Yeah, like if you read that on the script, you're like, oh,
Yeah, yeah. Say
come
my
on.
name.
Yeah.
And he goes, "You're Heisenberg." He goes, "You're goddamn right I am." It's like, oh, then it goes to the credits.
Yeah.
It's like, holy shit.
That was man. So, some of the cold opens on this show this season have been fucking awesome. That one was awesome. I love the car one. Like it was so over
Which
the
car one?
the car one where he gets the cars for himself and
Oh,
Walt Jr.
God.
Where that song's playing, the dubstep, the bonfire
Yeah,
song. Like it's so just like goofy and over the top, but it's like he's losing his shit, man. He's losing his shit,
Isn't it? Yeah.
and it's like, goddamn, he sells the Aztec, which he's had around since season 1, right? I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
Yeah, I love that when the guy's looking at it. He's like, "Yeah, there's that deer stuff on the front or whatever you hit." And it's like, "No, that's a drug dealer. That was skin from a drug dealer."
He sells it to him for what, like $10 or $20 or something?
50.
50.
I think he asked for 100, and he's like, "Huh?" He's like, "How about 50?" And he's like, "Okay, sure." And so that was sort of, and that's where he found the hat, and like that's where Heisenberg was living in that Aztec.
He was living there the whole time. Who knew? Let's see if I can play this so we can hear it.
All right.
I don't have a damn clue what it is. I'm the cook. I'm the man who killed Gus Fring.
Bullshit. Cartel got Frank.
You sure? That's right. Now, say my name. goddamn right.
I love that, dude. God, I love that moment so much.
Goddamn right.
God.
Awesome.
Yeah.
No, this season has like I almost can't imagine a scenario where we're going to be let down by the end of this show.
I mean, the great. I mean,
It's hard to imagine.
There's not much room for growth left. Like we've watched him kill and work his way up from like the lowest street level to now an international supplying meth around the world operation. You know, if I were Lydia, I would not try to get into business with this guy.
No.
He's killed every other business partner he's tried to use as a distributor.
I
Yeah.
will say this: that as far as the pacing of the show over a long period of time, it did seem like he went like the episode early on when he shaved his head, when he went in and blew that place up with the nitroglycerin that he
Yeah.
made or whatever.
Yeah, or yeah.
Like that arc in that episode was a huge arc, and it almost kind of left him no place to go. Then they had to dial him back down a little bit, and the way they did that was by introducing Gus Fring, somebody who was worse. But now he's kind of back around to being the badass.
Yeah.
you know, back to being Heisenberg now.
Well, and then at the end of this episode, they toned him back down. I mean, they burned through 3 months in the final part of that episode. I mean,
Yeah.
and so it's like he's like, all right, he kind of hit it. He's sort of reached his goals. It seems like he's all right. He misses his kids. Honestly, I mean, and when it comes down to it, this whole show is him trying to make money for his kids to make sure they were going to be okay when he was gone, or his kid.
But then it became the Empire building.
Yeah, then it became the Empire thing. Then it became all about gray matter and fuck gray matter because they took my shit. And that's what it all came down to. That's what I mean. That whole conversation he had with Jesse was all about gray matter and like how he missed that. He sold his stake at 5,000 and went on to make billions.
Yep.
And like he doesn't want that to happen in his life. And I think I don't know. I think at this point he did that. He's seen himself accomplish that goal and he's done with it. Like, well, I mean, like I could live off $50 million the rest of my life.
Yeah, you could. Who couldn't live off 50 million?
Pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to go too long, so I
yeah.
don't know if there's anything else y'all want to hit, or if you're thinking about wrapping
God,
up. here. I like we just talked for half an hour about
Yeah.
Breaking Bad. And it feels like it was a 5-minute
Yeah.
discussion.
So in summary, Breaking Bad, I would not recommend.
In summary, Breaking Bad is going to win all the podcast awards this year. If somehow by some odd chance of miracle anyone involved with this show is listening to this, thank you so much for
don't-
4.5 seasons
That's
of this.
too much. That's
Come
too
on,
much.
come
Yeah,
on.
that's too much.
That's not too much. Come on.
Just email me for a headshot, a demo reel.
No. Anyway, I'm a huge.
Shannon on the show. Why don't you thank Shannon?
Yeah, I'll go
Who's your favorite ancillary minor character in the show? Because mine is hands down Skinny Pete. Anytime Skinny Pete's on screen, I'm like, oh yeah, here we go.
Skinny Pete and Badger, come on, they're great. Fuck, dude, I don't know, man. The twins were so awesome.
Salamanca's great.
Yeah, Mr. Ding Ding, he's also great.
Senor Ding Ding.
Senor Ding Ding.
Yeah, he's hard not to like.
But those twins, man, that fucking like when that guy's crawling in like with this bloody stump dragging across the ground is like pure evil.
Gus Fring was only in the whole series for like one season.
It was
That's
1.5.
it. Was he in season and a half?
Yeah, he was in the half season before.
Man.
Because remember he was negotiating to stop the twins,
Yeah,
and then the next season's about they're working together and they fall apart.
He's so amazing. This is the quintessential Gus Fring scene to me is when he goes to vomit up the poison in the drug cartel's bathroom, and he's so proper, like puts a towel on the ground and
Yeah.
kneels on the towel, and he puts his glasses aside, and he's like, barf.
But even Mike, I mean, Mike was only in the 7 episodes this season and like half of last season.
Yeah.
God, Mike is such a fucking awesome
He was
character
also
too.
in that season with the twins because he's the one who has the surveillance in Walt's house and knows
That's
that
right.
the twins are coming.
That's right.
So he goes back even further. Before you knew he was working directly for Fring, you thought he was working for Saul Goodman.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
so hard to figure out, like even remember like the early villains of the series before Fring.
Yeah, that's why I'm rewatching it, honestly. And
Yeah.
that's how I know that for a fact, 'cause I just got through that not that long ago.
Yeah, like God, like Tuco, that was such a great character. It's like, wow, this guy's pretty cool. And then he goes fucking crazy. It's like, oh shit. Anyway,
I still remember that moment when they were going to kill Tuco with the ricin, and Jesse just opens his fucking mouth and
Yeah.
ruins it. You know, he
Yeah.
says, "I put my special ingredient. It's with chili powder."
Yeah, Chili P.
Chili P.
Oh my god, so stupid.
Okay.
You want to reach in the screen and choke Jesse.
Anyway, so seriously, great show. Can't wait for next summer.
What was I going to say? Before you started your thank you to the people who watched
It's
it?
fucking awesome.
I don't know. I was going to say something, but I'll come up
All
with
right. Also, we should say thank you to the Breaking Bad subreddit because I know I spent a fuckload of time on there.
Oh, yeah?
So
Yeah,
I
I
get
did.
tons
I
of
was saying
information.
Thank yous now? Do you want to thank anybody, guys?
I want to thank my wife for letting me get the big TV so I can watch it. Baby, I love you.
Want to thank
We did it
AMC.
together. We got through the season.
No, like when we say we're on Reddit, that's what we're talking about. It's the Breaking Bad subreddit.
Yeah,
So.
here's what I want to clarify. Because I get people always on Twitter say, "Hey, thanks for recommending Breaking Bad, Bernie. If it wasn't for you to watch the show, I didn't recommend the show. Who was the person in the
We
podcast?"
both did independently.
I brought it up. I think I brought it up first, and then you watched it on your own. Like Yeah, I don't think I ever convinced you to watch it. I don't think I convinced you to do anything. So I think you just watched it on your own. But I've been watching it since day one. So
Yeah, I think I started at the end of season 2.
yeah, I heard about this show where a chemistry teacher becomes a meth dealer. I was like, this sounds cool.
I take no credit for discovering the show. I was told the show by you guys.
Anyway, so
All right, well, thank you for listening.
thank you, audience.